Welcome back to 1010's podcast. My name is Michael Beck with Adam Nielsen and Robbie Veerhout, and we have a guest this week. We have Tomas Read from TRmedium and FT86 Speedfactory.
That is me.
What is up, dude?
How's it going, guys?
Doing great.
Thanks.
So, this is kind of funny because I got shit from Yo, who's like the vice president of FT86.
Yep.
While I was at a restaurant, I just happened to see him, and he was giving me shit because you were wearing that 1010's podcast shirt. And it was like it was either a Subi Speed or an FT86 video that you guys put on your YouTube channel, and you guys get a lot of views. I mean, you get a lot of people that watch those videos.
We get some, yeah.
Yeah. So he wasn't really giving me shit, but he was like, "Oh, I saw Thomas was wearing your shirt in our video." I was like, "Yes, he was."
He didn't tell me about that. I had lunch with him today.
Really?
And I wore the shirt to lunch, and he never mentioned it.
He didn't say anything about it? I
Nope.
think he was just giving me a hard time because I hadn't seen him in a while. So, but then he asked how the podcast was going and stuff like that, so I think he was purely kidding, but it was a little funny.
That is funny, because he never talks to me about anything when I wear this shirt.
You have that? Don't you have another one that you wear sometimes? Because you had that video that you posted on Instagram of you spinning around in the office chair with the Takata belts on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to post that. We should have posted that on our Instagram because it's funny. Do you still have that video?
It's on Instagram.
I can take it off Instagram.
We should repost
I can
that.
regrab that.
Because he's in an office chair with the belts on, wearing his 1010's podcast shirt, and he's just spinning around. You can't. Everything in the background's blurred, obviously.
Yeah, I was going to do a harness install video, but something happened. We didn't actually make the video, so I was like, okay, well, before I put these back in inventory, I'm going to see if I can bolt it to my office chair.
Well, of course you can.
I always wanted to bolt those to a toilet, just because it's funny.
What type of shits are you having?
That's the point. That's what I want people like. What is wrong?
What is wrong with this
What is
guy?
wrong with you?
It's probably your diet.
It's funny though.
How are you going to manage the dangling things
I
that go
don't
down?
ask
Yeah.
questions. I don't have answers.
There's a lot of like loose ends, quite literally, that you'd probably want to take care of on a toilet. That I don't. That's up for you to figure out.
I'll
though.
figure
I'm not
it
gonna.
out. It's no big deal.
I'm not going to be doing any experimenting at my house with that.
I thought you said he was wearing our shirt in that video.
In the video, I'm pretty sure he is.
No, he's not.
I
What's
might
he-
be wearing like an
FT86
Speedfactory shirt.
Did you? Did you tag
I
me
only
in?
have this one.
I thought you had one other one.
I thought you had one that was a darker blue. We're
No.
talking about things that no one can see.
No, I know. We're not.
So I'm wearing
Go
the
to YouTube.
1010's podcast Drift.
You are wearing the
t-shirt
Drifty.
that
Which
I actually designed
was gonna
for
say.
you guys.
That is your shirt.
And I'm wearing it.
So yeah, we will not be reposting that video because it
Well,
does
it's too
not-
late now. It's on YouTube.
Oh, that's right. You got to put it on the YouTube
Yeah,
channel.
because we talked
don't you?
about it.
Oh
Can't
shit!
just skip it.
You could just make like a black slide that said "video would be here."
Nah, I got
It
it.
confuse people.
Yeah.
Got it right here. Stealing it off your Instagram right now.
So anyway, even though Thomas is here, we're still going to do an Adams opener, if you know what I mean.
I know what you
presented
mean.
by Eyes Up Auto Art. What do you got for us this week, Adam?
All right. So a couple of weeks ago, we talked about Chevy's real people ads, and we talked about our assumption on their process for gathering the people. Turns out we were exactly right, because the people over at AV Club managed to get an interview with somebody who wishes to remain anonymous.
Was it Mock? Did
was
they do
Mock.
an interview with Mock?
Mock? I'm sure he was told to stop, but no.
JB Power.
What's JD Power? Does that mean it's a piece of shit after 3 months?
Yes.
Oh,
right,
it's
anyway,
too
sorry.
good. But yeah, this person, he or she, absolutely confirmed exactly what it was we thought they did.
Just some
Where
random
basically they just grabbed random people off the street. Literally, they offered them $200 to show up and, be a part of this. And they had no idea what it was coming into it.
people. I suppose. Well, then you get some guy that's like pressuring you to give you, what do you think of this car that you don't know what it is?
Yeah, and they said that the Doors commercial was even more painful in real life because they were really loud and really slow.
Just awkwardly stand there while that guy stares
Yeah.
at
How
you.
many fucking doors are in this place? You guys just have a bunch of fucking doors? Oh,
And
sorry.
apparently their spokesman was very good at not breaking a smile and just standing there incredibly awkwardly the whole time.
That
Apparently it was one of the most awkward experiences this person had ever
that dude.
done.
Every time I see that dude in that commercial, I'm like, "There's something sketchy about that guy."
Yeah, for sure.
There's something just a little.
He looks creepy.
He's like 99% normal, but 1% super sketchy, and I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah.
I really don't know what it
he's
is.
the part of a future scandal for sure. I don't
That's
know
a
what.
bold claim, and I like
I don't know
it.
what yet, but he's definitely going to be a problem
Something-
at some point.
There's something about him I don't really like.
Yeah.
But yeah. There was. Didn't that guy in that article? I just happened to glance at that. Didn't he say something like, at one point he thought for sure he was going to be killed, like they were taking him into a warehouse to kill him because it was so sketchy. They had him like wait in this sketchy waiting room before they took him into the
Yeah.
giant.
And all
JD
for
Powell.
$200, which doesn't really. They said they were there for hours,
That's weird.
which doesn't.
$100 an hour.
Well, I don't know what hours means. Like if they're there for 6 hours, I don't know that that's worth $200 to me.
Not if you're in a sketchy warehouse with a bunch of doors. That sounds like not a good time.
They don't say anything like, "Hey, we're from General Motors. I'll give you $200 if you come sit in this room."
No, they were completely anonymous about who they were with and what type of commercial they were going to be shooting.
The Chevy Malibu.
Yeah, they
was a
couldn't.
Chevy
So they
Malibu.
couldn't know.
Hey, you want $200?
No,
Okay.
not to go in that sketchy warehouse with you, dude. No, thank you.
I've seen this movie before. I'm
Yeah,
out.
exactly.
Come back here by these dumpsters with me.
Nope,
I'll give you
I want my
$200.
kidneys.
I'm not doing it.
No.
Is that it for your opener?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Before we move past Adam's opener, if you know what I mean, I think Thomas has an opener also.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to do your
I
opener?
was just a little bit thirsty, so I, stopped at the.
He has, first of all, this is a Whole Foods
Whole
bag.
Foods.
Which I'm not very
Whole Foods.
happy about. I just
So
want
I'm just
everybody
gonna quench
to know.
my thirst with some good old boxed water, which on the box says
Boxed
is better.
water is better.
Is better.
Is
So
it, though?
I got one for each of us.
Oh man,
So just, whoa.
What's that?
And so,
what is
so you guys were comparing some stuff. So I wanted to taste the difference between boxed water and just water. So this is just water.
what's just water?
It's just water, and this
Yeah,
is
but
boxed water.
Is that in a box?
This is in like a smooth cornered box.
We need a cup for that.
That's very strange.
Podcast on road.
Oh,
Well, I have
Michael's just like
brought
digging around in his kitchen and whatnot now.
multiple
It'll be
boxed
fine.
Hold it up
waters.
so I can take
He's
a
getting some of his crystal.
I got a lot of boxed waters.
I'll take a box water and then
Here's
Yeah, just hold them.
hand out some just water.
we have
Oh
boxed
my
water and then
gosh.
just water.
That's
Sorry,
ridiculous.
everybody. Got a little crazy there for a minute.
Don't
Got
edit
his
that
finest crystal though.
No,
so
Oh, yeah, we
we're
got crystal.
We got crystal and whatever else we need there to make that work.
I'll take the whiskey crystal.
So I got, first of all,
Here's a box. Here's a box.
I got
Oh,
the
it's
Pass it down to
not even
box
warm.
for random.
box water is better.
Oh man,
Why does it feel like there's something in it?
because there is. It's called water.
No, but it feels like there's like metal or something. Like the way it hits the box. You know what I mean?
It feels like
it feels
when I'm
weird.
shaking a milk carton when I was in middle school. Our box is a sustainable option. 74%.
Is it leaking?
I think it might be.
Or is it?
Problem with
Is that?
my boxes.
That's condensation.
My boch is wet.
What? They weren't.
If somebody doesn't say phrasing, I'm ending the podcast right now. I'm literally hitting stop and we're leaving.
So what do we do with a wet box?
Oh no! Oh no!
He's gonna cry. I have it open. Give me a second.
For all the ladies that are listening, this box is moist.
Oh man,
It's open. Okay, hold on a second.
it doesn't.
Damn it, Robbie!
It smells like box.
How can you drink after saying something like that?
Oh, I wouldn't buy this again.
It's no water Joe.
It's it tastes like that over purified water taste. You know what I mean? Like that weird
It almost
chemically water almost.
no. It tastes like hydrogen peroxide.
Oh yes.
Oh, it's got an aftertaste.
It
to
tastes like
doesn't
hydrogen
it?
peroxide.
Maybe it's slowly cleaning our mouths.
Or it's killing us. One of the two.
Am I foaming at the mouth here?
I don't like how
No,
the
you're good,
ridge
Robbie.
hits your nose when you take a drink.
It's very difficult to drink out
You have
of.
to drink like
You have to
They should open it
up
like a milk carton.
box. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly.
they really messed this up.
I'm really disappointed in that. That was actually worse than I thought it was going to be. I'll put it that way.
We had low expectations.
Yeah, I was disappointed in the whole box water concept.
They
and that
claim
was
it's free of any contaminants or things you don't need except peroxide. it
hydrogen
seems like.
peroxide.
Maybe that's what clean water really tastes like, Robbie.
That's how they
I
clean
just-
the water. They put hydrogen peroxide.
There you
in it.
go.
Yeah, probably.
You can gargle with hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah,
You can,
have
yeah.
mouth sores and stuff.
You're just not supposed to swallow it.
Weird.
What?
They're
What
just
you get from
claiming
going to behind dumpsters
no,
for 2
no, leave it, drop it.
I'll do anything for $200.
We went there, Michael. It can't
Damn
be
it.
taken back.
They claim that this is more environmentally friendly because it's just paper.
No, they're killing trees. It's
That's what
way
they
less.
say. Well, that's what they say.
And all the chemicals to make hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah.
Recyclable. That's basically what they're getting at.
Is your tongue swelling or
No,
what?
I can't tell if it's actually like foaming like hydrogen peroxide.
I'm with Thomas. It does taste like box. The aftertaste is box.
Yep.
Cardboard box.
Cardboard box.
I'm serious. Like I'm just
There's
sitting here. It just
definitely a
kind of tastes
strange
like box.
aftertaste to it. What is that?
It expires.
That you are
Does
drinking?
normal
Water
expire?
doesn't expire. The box does.
The box breaks down.
Just-
Eventually, that box.
If
will
you look
break
at
down.
if you look at any bottle,
What about this box?
the expiration date is based on the bottle because the water won't expire.
The container is BPA free, so I'll give them that. People are concerned about.
Do you even know what a
BPA.
BPA is?
No,
Exactly.
I was going to say,
I'm not.
Am I the only
didn't-
person who has no clue? What
I didn't
that
say I
means,
was
or-
concerned about
Oh,
BPA.
okay.
I just said
Okay.
that people are.
Is this gluten free? Because I'm really worried about those sort of things.
Probably not.
Damn it!
It's got cardboard in it. It's probably not
Do
gluten
they
free.
put gluten in their water?
Possibly.
What's well, this is just water. I don't know if you guys want to taste this too, just to compare the box to just.
Nah, I'm good.
Okay.
Let's hang on to
Hold
the
on.
just water.
Hold on.
Oh.
In order to save money on their carbon footprint, they ship flat, as in flat Earth. Huh?
Damn it, Robbie.
Oh.
This
I
is
don't
how
know.
they're
This-
funding their
Yep. It's,
their propaganda.
It's through boxed water.
yeah, I don't know. This.
Well, how do you fit water?
I want Water Joe like right now.
a flat
This is
box.
terrible.
They're just shipping the boxes, not shipping the. I think
They ship flat in our filler, which is more efficiently compared to shipping empty plastic or glass bottles to be filled.
I kind of understand that, but I'm not like buying into it 100%.
That's yeah.
Isn't
I think
gla-
you're splitting hairs.
It's not. Yeah, right. You're not selling me on the whole concept because you can ship them
Shouldn't
flat.
you just like use glass? You can make that out of sand.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Like this, you kill a tree for this, but you can use sand to make glass, which is 100% recyclable. You can make more glass from the glass.
My
Yep.
thing on their last thing here, it says that they work with 1% for the planet to donate at least 1% of their annual revenue to reforestation.
Wow, 1%.
They bet-
1%.
They take a lot more than 1% in paper.
Thanks,
Tell you that
guys.
much.
Thanks for saving the earth with that 1%.
Really giving back to the community.
Yeah.
You generous, generous people.
Anyway,
By the way, they're not going to call us.
no,
This is
we
the
were-
worst. This is the worst
It'd be
review
a
ever.
cease and desist from us, possibly at some
You
point.
guys would be
but-
pretty famous if they heard this. And
I hope
they-
so.
You got one, so
You
I
guys
think
want
it'd be a
to
compliment.
you want to tag them?
Even bad
No,
By the way, your water sucks.
even bad publicity is still publicity, right?
people might try it because we said it was bad. Yeah, take that away from him because
I'll drink the whole
Keep
thing.
drinking it.
Take it away
He's
from him.
dedicated.
Yeah, I'm not going to throw away free water.
It's the most Dutch thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's it for Adam and Thomas's opener, if you know what I mean.
Oh.
Presented by Eyes Up Auto Art.
Damn it, Robbie.
All right, make sure, guys, to go to Eyes Up Auto Arts. Basically, he's got his Instagram, his Twitter, and his Facebook. Check out all those pages so you can see all of the dope artwork that he's doing now. And be sure to contact him through social media if you would like to commission something for you. As I've said before, I've talked to him about pricing. It is incredibly reasonable. So I would, if it's even an inkling that maybe you might want something done for your house or as a gift or something like that, I would contact him. And he can get you set up with some pricing, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
So contact him through any of those social media pages, and he will get back to you. Boom.
So that's a pretty good car guy or car girl gift for your car guy or car girl loved one.
Right. I don't think after that whole box incident that there's many women listening to this, but yeah.
No, they checked out as soon as you said moist.
Yeah, so,
They out.
but yeah, otherwise
That's
I would
why
say
we
definitely.
tried to hashtag wet, but it just really didn't take off.
Oh,
We can bring it back.
You guys are done?
No, It's coming back.
We never.
Did we do,
started
didn't
on
Wet come along, Wet came along last Grid Life.
Last
Yeah,
Grid Life,
because everyone
we
kept
don't-
saying lit.
because we thought lit was stupid, and I suggested moist, but then one of you guys was like, no, because that alienates too many people.
Right, so we're going
And so
with
we
Wet.
went with wet.
Well, we wanted our own thing.
Yeah,
We didn't want somebody else's
because
thing.
lit doesn't sound good.
I've never seen so
It
many
sounds
people
dangerous.
in my life say lit. I actually read an article on Hootsuite today, who's a social media manager, and they said don't use the word lit. And I was like, okay, but like our target audience for some reason really likes to
They're
say
really
lit.
they're latched on. And then that fire emoji.
And 100 underline?
Yeah.
You guys use those at work?
No, I don't. know
So-
what that one does.
When I do Snapchat at work, when we were building the Snapchat following, I was the intern still, so I was there for like 3 days. a week. So we gave it to the other guy, the photographer that was there full time, and he would just take pictures of like the cool products, and it was fire 100 underscore
all the time.
But why?
because it's
I don't know what the 100 has.
Doesn't matter.
Like, what does that bring to the table?
It's 100%. 100%.
everybody uses it.
I've used
It's
it.
10 tenths.
It's 10 tenths, but
No, it's 100.
It's 10 tenths, but in percentage form.
Yep.
It's exactly what it is.
I'm just not that into it.
Math fractions. I
Math.
get it.
It's a bitch.
I don't like math.
Math solves everything.
I know, that's what is really difficult about not liking math.
I understand.
So,
anyway, Thomas,
Yes.
you have been with. How long have you been with Speedfactory? You said you started as an intern, but
Summer of 2015.
okay. So
I heard about them when I was getting my tires changed at a tire shop. I was like, "Hey, you guys have any like used like takeoffs, race tires? I'm going to start this autocross thing, and I don't know anything about classes. Can I get some slicks to put on my E30?" And they're like, "No, but this company, they come in and get like race tires swapped over all the time." And I was like, "Cool, what are they called?" And then I Googled them, and I was like, "Whoa, there's this shop that's 5 minutes away from my house, and I don't know about this, and they do crazy race car stuff." So I drove past it. It didn't look like anything, and then I emailed the CEO. I was like, "Hey, Mr. CEO, I'm doing this cool internet things at school, and I want to like do an intern thingy." And then I started doing intern things.
Just like that.
just that easy.
it's just
I mean,
that
That's
easy.
all you need to do to follow your dreams is send emails to CEOs. Is that
I
what you're telling me?
said, "Hey, I'm doing this cool stuff. I like what you're doing. I'll work for free because I want to learn from your company."
That's
for free.
But there's
That's where you're
something to be
That's-
said
no,
about
that's
that when
absolutely
you're an
something to say
intern.
about that.
I mean, that's fair. I
I
think.
mean, I said a lot of other stuff that was relevant to the conversation, but
yeah.
ballpark, yes.
Spin,
fairly
spin that
certain-
mic to you just a little bit closer. Just
I'm
a
fairly certain that intern is code word for free labor.
it used to be.
Well, I
It
wasn't
depends
actually.
on the depends on the major too.
I didn't
That's
actually
true.
work for free. He offered me a job, so
perfect.
Boom.
Even better. So you interned with them for a little while, and you were doing. I mean, what's even your degree in?
aviation maintenance.
Hell yeah!
I remember that now. That's
amazing.
right. I forgot about that.
And then I was like, I don't like this mechanic airplane thing. Airplanes are cool, but race cars are better.
Race cars are a lot
sure.
cooler.
So I went into business and marketing, and then I was like, all right, that's cool. I'm done. Actually, when I was in school, that's when I started the internship, like most interns. And then I became full-time when I graduated, and then while I was an intern, I did some cool things, like when Forza 6 came out. I was like, hey, we have cool race car designs. Hey, Jeremy, can we put the race cars in the Forza game, and I bring my Xbox to work and just, not play
God.
Xbox all day? And then I made the design. That was cool. And then I was like, hey, let's get on this Snapchat thing, which you guys should do, by the way.
Nah.
There's no dick pics. Don't worry.
Liar.
No, I've never got one.
Nah,
I already
Now
have-
you will. Now you will.
I have a friend
With
with,
this
a,
audience.
with a standing offer who said, the minute you guys sign up for Snapchat, bam. So,
So I did Snapchat, and then fast forward like a little bit, and I'm doing this show on Snapchat because I wasn't on YouTube yet. YouTube terrified me to talk in front of a camera. I did not want to do that.
So is this when you were
get it.
when you were just working full time, or was this when you were
Yeah.
still an intern that
So-
you started this?
The Snapchat thing?
Yeah.
It was kind of like intern, and then I kind of full time. I picked it up as a platform
Transition.
to use.
Yeah, okay.
And I started this show on Tuesday. That was a tech tip, and I stole the tech tip from Hot
Lincoln Tech?
Rod. Yes.
Yeah,
Lincoln
from,
Tech tip.
from Hot God Garage.
Yes. And then
Tony Angelo.
Yes, exactly.
I knew exactly what it was when you said it too. I was like, I've heard this before.
It was called Tech Tip Tuesday with Thomas, and we talked about different Subaru things you could do to your car, little hacks. Actually, it was more like what products you could install to get horsepower and stuff, and it got pretty popular. We got a couple thousand people watching it every Tuesday, and I was like, wow, this is a little Snapchat show that takes me an hour to make while I just talk to my phone in an empty shop around cars, and then
So this is before you started doing any production then. So you were literally
Yeah.
just on your phone.
I did not know how to use a camera. I didn't know how to video edit. And then my boss was like, hey, this story kind of goes away in 24 hours. Why don't we put it somewhere that lasts? And then I got to talk in front of a camera, and I was like, no, this isn't okay.
I'm out. Fuck it.
it's too much.
Where's the airplanes?
Hi, my name is Speedfactory, and this is Thomas. Today we're going to talk about how to make your car go faster. And then it was really nervous. I was really nervous because I didn't know how to use cameras, so a guy who knew how to use cameras sat behind the tripod in the camera and then just stared at me.
That sounds like a really awkward deal.
And I didn't have like a script, and I didn't know how to like wing it, so I just like stumbled across my first couple videos, started to get the hang of it, started watching more YouTube videos, and then now I film and write and script and edit all my videos.
You do everything, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
so I do everything for FT86 Speedfactory content-wise on the internet. Like if you see something commented or you see a post, that was made by me.
okay. Are you doing anything for Subi Speed?
I dabble a little bit because it's a lot bigger brand because there's way more WXSTIs,
Sure, yeah.
Foresters, Crosstreks out there than just FRS beers. Oh, I guess FT86 Speedfactory is for FRS beers and 86s.
Right.
Yeah, I suppose we should
Yeah,
let
sorry.
people know that.
So we sell aftermarket parts for all the FRS, the BRZs, and the 86s. And I make a YouTube show. I usually make a video about once a week, either installing a new part, showing you a review on the newest products, what's out, what the stuff you can do to your car. We do reviews every once in a while, which when we install something and we review it, that means I get to drive the car. So that's super awesome. We did a short shifter. It's called an IRP short shifter that like it's like a race car part.
It's up high. It's tall.
It's not a normal short shifter, and then it reduces throws by 60%. So I'm driving on a stock 8.6 in Ankeny in stop and go traffic, and I got this race car shifter, but it's a stock clutch and it's like a stock 8.6, which isn't that fast, but it was super cool. And I said good things about it to the camera, and then we made a video.
I want one of those short shifters like that. So
Like
bad.
tall short shifter?
Is it like up by your head here?
It's like a little bit taller than the bottom of the steering wheel.
The idea is that you're not supposed to have to
it's
move
kinda
your
up there.
hand so far.
Yeah, so
when
you're
you
right.
shift,
You're right there.
because you're supposed to always have both hands on the wheel when racing.
But it moves like an
Yeah.
inch in every gear.
Huh. That's
Super
pretty cool.
I would miss a shift every single time.
Yep.
First, fourth,
Yes.
fifth, second. Damn it!
Damn it.
I'm sure you'd get the hang of it, though.
Oh yeah,
It wouldn't take that long.
probably not.
After you window a motor, you'll be fine.
after
You'll figure it out.
after
You only do it once,
burn up a
right?
transmission.
I'd be more worried about over revving and blowing a motor sky high. But
Yeah,
yeah.
We've seen that before.
that's a bad day.
Yeah.
So, I guess what's your favorite part of what you do every day now?
Going to work and talking cars and fiddling with cars and then occasionally driving the cars and then talking to people on the internet about cars.
So basically, just everything that you do then.
So yeah, because I'm a car guy and I found a very greatly suited job for me.
Right, because, I mean, that type of company is few and far between in general. It just so happens that,
Especially in Iowa.
right, definitely in Iowa, there's not, I mean, that size of company, when JB started that, and they bought him and Yo and JB bought those two cars, the two 86s.
Yeah, they were in a tiny little office.
At the very beginning, I remember when they first went into that little tiny office in Jerry's shop area and all that, and I was just like, nobody would have guessed. What, 3 years later? I mean, it's not. How long has it actually been since they started?
They started in 2011 with not the FRSs. They were doing
Right.
other small platforms, and then I think as soon as the car came out, they bought them.
2013, then
Yeah,
something like that. So yeah, it's been like maybe a little over 4 years. I mean, it's a huge company now. It's massive.
I mean, I still think of it small, but it is twice as big as when I started. Like,
Yeah.
and we're moving into another building, a third building that's
You guys move a lot of product too, don't you? Yeah. Like
have
a
a-
ton.
like a buttload.
I mean, they're like probably one of the bigger Subaru online shops, I would guess.
Yeah, we up there.
So
But it's crazy that somebody started a company 4 or 5, relatively speaking, as far as the platform supported
Right.
years ago, and now they're at that level of
It's like exploded.
yeah. And what I guess do you think that's because of the social media aspect of what they do,
For
or
sure.
the content? So it's you basically is what you're
Well, so I've only been a part of it.
absolutely.
It's 100%
That's
Thomas.
totally.
I've only been
Thomas.
making these YouTube videos like full time once a week for about almost like 9 months, maybe
Okay.
10 months.
But Yo was doing it for a while, right?
So Yo and JB used to make like videos like back in the day, like kind of
Yeah.
almost early YouTube. So nobody really had high production stuff on YouTube. So it was kind of like normal, and they would just talk about the parts and car stuff, and people would listen because they're interested in this. They're just genuine car guys talking
Right.
about car stuff.
Car stuff, yeah.
And then they had they were on the forums, and I'm on the forums too, which is kind of like old school social media. But now we get to have fun and play with cameras and make really cool, like, it's not just about like showing the products off. It's also like an entertainment channel. Like people
Absolutely
watch it who don't actually own FRSs just because they think it's cool, which I guess that's a pretty big compliment.
Yeah, I'd say so.
You guys have 17,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel. I mean, it's not small by any means.
It's not huge by like YouTube standards now, but it's,
No, that's true too, but-
it's enough to have like a decent fan base with.
When you're that niche of a market to begin with, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good deal.
because even SubiSpeed's not all Subarus. It's what is it, like 2013 plus or whatever. I'm just kind of throwing a number out there.
2015 plus or WRXs.
WRXs, yeah. Okay, so that's that's a pretty small market, relatively speaking. 10 years from now, they'll have a big basis.
I see brand new WRXs like all the time, but then also I notice them.
Yeah, you see them, yeah.
Yeah, I see them everywhere now.
So what do you, as far as the content production side of it,
Yeah.
when you go from something that's amateur looking to something that looks professional, what do you think makes that jump?
Oh boy. Understanding how you're going to edit it before you shoot it.
Okay. Because, like you said, you're shooting all this by yourself. I mean, you're literally by yourself.
I'm a one-man band, yeah.
Right. There's nobody running the camera. There's nobody running sound. It's just you, and then you take whatever you come up with and you edit it after the fact.
Right. I mean, I'm also in a creative space with.
Sure. Yeah.
So
a studio, more or less.
I do FT86
warehouse.
Speedfactory, and a coworker named Kevin does SubiSpeed now. Like we kind of split off. We both kind of half, and now we both split the brands. So I'm one brand, he's the other, and so we're both making videos, totally separate videos, but we're talking. We bounce ideas off each other. So we're in a creative, productive environment, I guess.
Sure.
But we both do the videos all by ourselves. So having a game plan before you start shooting would be a really big deal.
Okay. Do you storyboard out what you're going to do?
No.
Okay. You just have a plan in your head of what you're going to do.
Vomit on a Google Doc.
Okay.
Word vomit. And then I cut and paste things. And I'm like,
Not literal vomit.
No. That'd be messy.
It's a good way to ruin a lot of computers.
Yeah, he's been through
Once a week.
He's been through 30 computers already this year.
Yeah. And then I cut and paste, and I have a general outline of how I'm going to do this video, and then I go out and shoot it. In my head, I know how I'm going to transition this part to this part. Because when I watch movies, I have to watch them twice, because I watch how they cut it first, and how they frame things, and I try to implement that into my videos. Everything has meaning, so
Right.
I mean, I'm not making a movie, but I want to have some kind of meaning.
So yeah, some of your shots are more creative than what you would maybe expect from a company that sells auto parts.
Correct.
Yeah. I've picked up on that.
But also my style, I have a hardcore attention problem, so I can't talk for 2 minutes straight. I'm going to mess up. I'm going to start talking about something completely not car related. So my editing style is kind of fast, and there's lots of B-roll shots.
Sure.
It took me a while to find my style, but
I think that's that way with anything. You can
Yeah.
definitely you can go
Totally.
back and listen to some of our first shows and then listen to our new ones, and it's similar, but it's changed. That's you just got to find your role and stick with it.
It's way more off the fucking rails now than it ever has been, seems like. Last couple of weeks.
When we
or
were
last couple months.
shooting the YouTube video, I was behind the camera for most of that on
Right.
the YouTube video.
Yep.
For all you
I don't know if people
listeners out there.
put that together yet. Yeah.
You guys did a really good job. Well, you guys are on a podcast and you do this all the time, just not in front of a camera. But you guys bounced off each other really nicely, and it was. I only talked to a camera. You guys were talking to each other, so it was cool. You guys had a good cadence. It was
See, I would
natural.
I would feel really weird about talking to a camera by myself. I have to have somebody in there to talk to.
I would feel uncomfortable talking to somebody while talking to the camera.
The weird thing about that is that we're standing in that parking lot, and my dad's there running sound, and you're there with the camera, and then Robbie's to my left, and it's and there's people over there, and there's shit happening over here, and it's where do I look, and who do I talk to, and what do I say? And then, so, we're doing a podcast right now. I don't care what I look like because nobody can see me. Now, all of a sudden, you have this thing of okay, I need to be looking in a certain place.
My hands need to be in a certain way.
Not doing that, you know what I mean? That thing from Talladega Nights where he's what should I do with my hands?
Where do they go?
I literally was doing that.
Well, don't put them in your pockets. Well, don't cross. Don't
you can't cross. You got to kind of stand kind of normally and relax and have go back and forth and look at the person, look at the camera. It's just there's 16 more things you're trying to do than just record audio.
Yeah,
and it's a whole different deal. Because how many takes did I? I mean, it wasn't a lot of takes, but
No, 'cause we got
I had to
ran
do
out
at
of
least
there.
I had to do at least 4 takes of everything that we did.
Yeah, I think we got everything we needed like by 10 takes total. Well, at least for the intro and
Right,
intro
for the-
and outro.
The part that was spoken, so it's
I mean, it wasn't far off on what I do. Like, I'll mess up, and I just keep doing it. It was totally normal to me.
Yeah,
You guys did a great job.
thank you.
I thought it was okay for our first one.
We didn't know what
I'm happy with
what we were doing.
Yeah, we kind of all walked in. There were 3 different ideas, and we're like, okay, let's just make all this happen, and then we'll
Reconcile
throw
it.
it together in editing, and we'll make it happen.
Yep.
Well, I came that morning that we were
Yeah, you did. I bet you did.
so excited.
Oh no!
So you were so excited, and you came
Yes.
to our shoot.
Fruition. Yes. So I had no idea.
Sorry.
I knew we were shooting a video. No idea what we were shooting on. No idea what car we were doing. No idea what this video was going to be structured like. So I learned
Neither
it
did we.
all. That was
That's
the
the
first
thing.
time everything I do is like I have it pre-planned.
You have
And
a
then
plan, yep.
I came over here and like, yeah, we're going to shoot a video on this 240. Okay, cool. How? Like,
What are we doing?
You tell us.
Why do you think we brought you?
okay. Well, I usually have like a morning to get all my ideas down. 30 seconds. All right, let me think. But it was cool to have a run and gun kind of change of environment. It was fun. So I modified my camera so I can do it again better.
Yeah, I think we learned way more than I thought we'd learn in our first attempt at it.
Yeah, and the next one will be, I think, a lot better.
Yeah, well,
just as far as better organized and a better idea of what we're doing before we get there, and we should be able to shoot it quicker and move on to the next thing. But
Yeah, it shouldn't
Yeah.
take as long as this one did.
it was a learning experience.
Oh, yeah.
but that's totally fine in a lot of different aspects. It's got to be really nice being able to shoot inside.
Oh,
That's gotta
yeah,
be
because
so
the
much
lighting
better.
is
Yeah.
consistent. I did a how to wash your car video, and I yelled at the clouds because it kept moving. Like, I was so pissed off that I wasn't getting diffused light.
Yeah, that was a
You
challenge.
needed to
that
wash
day.
your car like between 7 and 8 o'clock at night. That
When-
was the
when-
problem.
when the lighting
when the
is-
lighting
When you're
is
not
just
when
so.
you're not at work.
Yeah, but
of
the-
course, when
yes.
you're home,
Exactly.
that's when you needed to do it.
Yeah, that's when I finished up all the shots that you didn't actually shoot yourself. I'd wait until the light was what I thought was right, and I'd quick drive the car out to the cul-de-sac and be like, okay, I'll shoot these quick shots, and all of a sudden it's like, and now the
it's
light
too dark.
sucks.
Can't
Yep,
see
can't
shit.
do it. Try again tomorrow, and then go back and realize that my frame rate was off, and had to reshoot them all anyways. And yeah, I didn't tell anybody that. I reshot like all those shots like 10, 20 times.
Oh, boy.
You should see my file of just like
It's huge.
of stuff I just threw away
It was, yeah.
because like
Robbie's obsessive about a lot of strange things, and when it comes to his car, it's like an extra above and
Well, it wasn't
beyond
even just the
that,
car;
so-
it's the video. Like I had an idea of what I want it to look like. So then, when my hands are too shaky and my editing software wouldn't correct it in a way without completely screwing up the video,
Right.
I had to go back and hold it again with steady hands and try it again.
So, like, an
and-
easy thing you can do, like, normally you get, like, a slider to do that. So you
Yeah,
can
of
have some
course.
nice stuff. But you can just take a picture, which is, like, over 4,000 pixels, and you're doing, like, a 1080p video. You can just take the pictures, like, zoom in, like, one time, or technically 2 times.
Yep.
And then you can just, like, pan from left
Pan
to
it.
right. So you're not going to get crazy dimensions moving. It's just going to be sliding a photo. But most people aren't going to know, and it's only being shown for, like, 3 seconds. So
I wondered if people do that.
people do it all the time.
That
And
confirms a lot of my suspicions.
That's what we're gonna do next time. We're just gonna shoot pictures of the car, do voiceover, call it a day.
No, I'm gonna call one of you guys. I'm gonna get my skates on, hold everything steady, and you just push
him
me.
around.
Just push me.
He's got. Hopefully this comes through, but he's got permission to roll up and down the grid at Grid Life.
Uh-huh.
So we'll see if what we get out
suppose
of
I
that.
should-
We shouldn't have said anything beforehand because now someone's gonna be like, I don't want that moron near my car.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
probably-
now
I
it's
should
gonna get
bring
ruined.
mine
But
too, but just in case.
yeah, we'll see.
I
And
guess
maybe it won't happen.
If we get told off, we get told off.
yeah,
Who cares?
fine.
Yeah.
Worst thing they can do is tell me to get out.
ask
Right.
forgiveness, not permission.
Right.
I
that's-
actually asked for permission and got it.
Okay, well,
If it all holds,
job.
holds
If it hold-
together.
yeah,
guy.
we'll
Hey,
find out.
I can give you the media vest though.
There
That'll
you go.
help.
That'll help.
Boom.
wait, you only have one?
Yeah, I only
Yeah.
have one.
Maybe I can borrow one from work. I wonder if you have one.
Probably. You guys probably have a vest.
That'd be really cool.
I could send it. I don't know exactly how that works, but my plan was to send, because we got you coming to Grid Life, and then we got Tim, my buddy Tim. He's going to come to Grid Life, and you guys all shoot. So I figured, as long as there's not some sort of weird credential thing that has my name all
If you
over
look
it,
the
I'd give
part,
it
who's
to you
going to
guys.
ask you questions?
Well, if you guys come to the meeting, and then
Oh.
like what,
Is there a media meeting?
yeah, there'll be a meeting
I'm excited.
because they got to
Why
go.
don't you just apply for it through FT86?
You could do that.
I guess I could.
You
I
could.
guarantee you they'd get you one.
Oh yeah, hey, that's a good
You
idea.
could try
I'm
that,
gonna
too.
do that.
If you need something, let us know.
All right.
Yeah, give that a go. But anyway, you guys will be with us shooting for Grid Life too.
It's gonna be way more official than I thought. I thought it was
Grid
just gonna
Life's
look at
gonna be-
cars and take photos. I'm
Like,
excited.
The last few days, the stuff has really escalated for our Grid Life plans, and it's going to be quite a weekend. We
Should be a good
officially
time.
have a camper. We're going to be there the whole weekend. None of this shuttling back and forth from the hotel to the event. It's going to be
To hang out
We just
there.
It's going
Wake
to be
up.
quite a weekend. We're excited for it.
Wake up,
Stand out of the-
be there.
Race car.
Yep. Yeah, we're literally walk out the door. Race
We
car.
will probably be woken by a race car.
No, we'll be up way before that.
Maybe.
We'll be woken up by you snoring way before that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'll be
100%.
I'll be
You'll
woken
be
up
asleep.
by a race car.
Right, exactly. Sorry.
Luckily, this camper has an area that you can close off one of the beds, and I've already dibsed that one for that specific purpose.
Do I need to
for
bring
my
an air
alleged
mattress?
snoring.
Maybe.
I'm probably bringing a tent just in case I can't stand to be anywhere near him and go.
We literally put him in a different room last year. Like
Yeah,
we had
the dumpiest hotel that.
but it had a suite.
Yeah,
The hotel was not that bad. That's not even close to the dumpiest place I've ever stayed.
that says more about you than anything. But
I used to be a
that-
pipeliner for a living and lived in motels and only had so much money to spend on them. I stayed in cheap places.
It was a $70 a night suite. Let's not go around.
Which,
saying-
by the way, we paid like $200 a night for because it was Grid Life.
Yep,
But
it's sold out.
yeah, that hotel thing is no joke around Grid Life. It's
There's nothing within 30 miles right now. And
I've stayed in $35 a night motels, so
Yeah.
A lot of people have.
it's whatever.
Cockroaches
Gross.
and stuff.
yeah, gross for sure. But this wasn't. I mean, could have been a lot better. It could have been worse also.
It could have been a lot worse.
But it was a suite, and so we put him on the couch in the other room and closed the door.
Yep.
The internet worked. The power worked.
The internet was a
whatever.
little slow,
It was all that
but
mattered.
it was all right.
We were able to get content on the internet. That was all we really needed.
Which reminds me, I need to switch over to unlimited data before we leave.
I'm bringing a 20,000 milliamp battery pack that's going to be connected to 2 battery chargers, so I can just consistently swap out
batteries.
camera batteries.
Perfect.
I need to buy another camera battery. That reminds me.
All these things.
See, the thing is, last year the bar was really low. Like
Because we didn't even know what we were getting into.
we couldn't even. There's no way we could have fucked it up last year. But this year, I feel like, we got a media pass, so there's no excuses there. We're on site the whole weekend.
We got our private place for recording.
Yep.
Oh,
So it's all
RV.
on us to
We have
mess it up.
we have the ability to
Mobile
wander
studio.
around and record now. We're not attached to a wall outlet like we were last year.
Wander around's a little.
We probably won't be moving.
We won't be doing a lot of wandering around. Yeah, you still got 3 microphones or 4 microphones. Or whatever.
Right,
It's a little
but-
weird. We're not taking all this shit, Thomas. To put it that way.
That's a good idea.
Remember the H6 that we got? That Zoom
Yeah.
H6. That's what
Yeah.
we're taking.
So you don't need a backpack with a
Right.
person following
Right,
you.
yeah, with an inverter and a car battery. No, we don't need that.
God, that would be so miserable.
So, I don't know if anybody cares, but I care, so I'm going to ask. You guys shoot on Canons at work then?
Yeah, well, so I shoot on a Canon. Kevin shoots on a Sony A7R2.
Oh, you guys do have an A7.
So we got an A7 as the newest camera recently,
Okay.
and I have most of our we have a few cameras, and that's the only Sony. But we have an adapter to go from Sony to Canon.
Change lenses, yeah.
But I shoot Sony at home and for my personal business, so I'm familiar. I like the Sonys a little
Right.
better.
No, I'm with you for video. It
Yeah.
seems to make a lot of sense.
Yeah. So Canon had to do a little catch up because Sony just blew it out of the park, and everybody's transferring over to Sony for video.
Yeah, definitely with the A7. Seemed like that was the one that
Yeah.
pulled a lot of people over. And now they got the A9. Have you played with that A9 at all yet?
Nope. I don't
No.
want
You don't want to touch because it's like
gonna be too good.
It's like $4,500,
to.
right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Stupid.
crazy
Buy a
expensive.
race car. Have way more fun.
I legitimately have bought race car for that. I don't think I have much more than that in my Omni total.
Wow.
So
That's
all
about
the
what
race
that's
car
about what I have in the RX-7
probably the Fiat too, frankly.
and the Fiat, not together but separate. Yeah,
I'm not far from that from having a broken BMW E30.
What do you have? We didn't even talk about it. Let's talk about
so
your,
I have a
your car life.
1987 325e BMW E30 4-door
Yeah,
It
the
has
4-door.
It doesn't have the slow engine, which is a 4-cylinder, but it doesn't have the fast 6-cylinder, which is a 325i. I have the E, which is the economy version, which has weirdly the larger engine and a larger stroke. So it revs to 5,000, and I chipped it, so it's all the way up to 5,500.
He really did chip that.
put a
I was
real
gonna
chip-
say,
That's a chip.
tell me about this chipping.
Yeah, I took the ECU apart, and the internet said to like do some staticky things to ground, and I was like,
Yeah, you got to be kind of careful about
nah,
that
fuck
stuff.
that. I just did it on my kitchen table and then like
YOLO.
shipped it
Hell
out,
yeah.
and then put new chip in. It was the eBay, so it was a eBay chip for $35. It was a copy clone off of something that was high tech technology in the 80s, and normally $200. I got for $35. So I got like at least 10 horsepower, maybe.
Can you feel a difference?
I can rev 500 RPMs more.
Well, that's
Kind of
what
worth it
matters.
in itself,
That's like
isn't it?
7 miles an hour faster in second gear on an autocross course.
I would kill for another 500 RPM on top of my second gear. I can tell you that. So that'd be nice.
But then at the last year's like mid autocross season, I busted through one of the like hard line brake lines
Whoops.
because it's just rusty and I don't want to fix my car all the time. So now it's just broken. I was like, well, it's broken. I'm going to do all the subframe bushings and the motor mounts just
Which
solid.
used to be sitting in my garage.
Yeah. So now they're in my garage sitting.
Not done.
At least they're not in my garage. That's what matters.
Yes.
I got a storage unit half full of BMW parts, heads, diffs. What do you need? Let's make a deal.
I just
because
need
it's
a
not my stuff. So.
Car to run.
I don't think I have any brake lines. Sorry.
I can get that at AutoZone.
Yeah.
But brake pads are going on it. Get some brake fluid, get it ready. It has RS3s. So it does decent. It just has lowering springs. I got lowering springs because the teenager who got it before me cut the springs with a torch.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Hell yeah.
And it blew the shocks out. So when I drove it home for an hour, it was just blown out shocks. And I was terrified whenever I saw like a medium size rock.
Gonna bounce
Bounce
you
you
out.
off the road.
Yep.
It's probably similar to driving the Omni back in the day. Because, God, that was bad.
So you are the owner of TRmedium also,
Yep.
which is kind of who I guess got credited for our video.
Oh, yeah, that's me.
Yep, that was you.
But I just held a camera and then gave advice.
Yeah, well,
You guys did
that's
all the
Good
work.
enough.
That's fair.
That's
Yeah.
what we
We
needed.
think
needed
that's
a
fair.
lot of that. So,
So
That's
you can do, I guess you can do a lot of different things. We talked about video mostly, but you've done some stuff. You can do some stuff in Photoshop. I mean,
I do design work, graphic design stuff. That's just something I learned on the way to like video. You just Adobe Creative Cloud. I just know how to use the stuffs, all the programs.
right.
And I just let me itch my head over this mic stand. What else do I do? Oh, I build people websites every once in a while. I think it's really boring, so I try not to advertise that I build websites. So
see, I
don't-
kind of have fun. I guess it's our website, so it's a little different, but I kind
you?
of have fun with it. But I'm
It's
just
yours.
using Squarespace, and it's not
Right.
like we're getting too crazy. And it is my website, or our website. That
Coding
I'm
is
doing.
cool, and I have fun with my own website that doesn't work because I've been building other people's websites and I don't have time to do my website. But coding was cool the first year I learned how to do it. And then,
See, we use Squarespace, which isn't coding. It's more like making a PowerPoint presentation,
yeah,
just pasting words and pictures into places, and hoping it looks good when you're done.
exactly. Yeah.
So it's probably very different.
But if you want some video or graphic design work, you should email me at thomas@trmedium.com. TR, my initials, Tomas Read, and medium like the shirt size.
Boom. Plug. His plug transition was pretty good too, though.
That was
Our plug transitions aren't always that good.
Eh.
He's
But
professional. We're
He's,
not.
he's a
I
lot
mean,
more
let's be real
professional.
here.
That's fair.
I mean, you could call it that because I'm on YouTube, but I don't see myself as a professional videographer. YouTube. I mean, I guess, yeah, sure, yeah. I'll do a video for you. I'm professional.
He has more YouTube views than we do, so I think that's
Yeah.
he's
got a lot.
definitely more professional than we are.
Yeah.
For sure. Anything else for your business you can think of? What do you like doing? I guess what's the stuff that gets
Making
you
videos
excited?
about cars.
Okay, so that is your kind of
So like I had some when you guys asked me to shoot your video, I was like, I could work on client stuff that I'm being paid for.
But I'd rather do this shit for
But
this podcast.
this free work for this like car stuff and this podcast, this sounds more exciting.
Turns out I'm really glad I just like randomly threw in the fact that we're on in a podcast to him a year.
Yeah,
and
that
a
was
half
like a
ago.
year ago at that. Adventureland autocross.
Yeah, I was like, what? Podcast? That's cool. And then
So I think you were just starting to like kind of listen to some podcasts, and you said you were trying to find stuff you liked.
well, I didn't. So I knew Everyday Driver, which I brought them into FT86 Speedfactory, sponsored a couple of their videos, helped them with their project FRS that one of the guys drives. So I started listening to their podcast. I was like, oh, car podcast is a thing. It's like when you're on a long ass drive and you don't have anybody in the car seat next to you. You want to talk about cars, you just listen about cars. This is awesome. Why aren't more people doing this? And then you're like,
Yes,
hey, we're
why
doing
aren't
this.
more people doing this?
Like, oh, okay, let's be better friends.
I think I met you originally when you worked at the go-kart track here.
Yep. I was a mechanic at a go-kart track
And
a couple first years of college.
didn't we introduce you to the autocross thing?
You mentioned that you do autocross.
I think that might
and I
have
met
been-
you too because you said Fiat things.
Yeah.
And you said Dodge Omni things, and
Yeah.
Chaz said E30 things. I was like, ooh, I have one of those.
Yes, and I think that I think it may have been our fault that you were introduced to autocross,
That's fine.
if I'm not mistaken.
What did you just have the E30 because you liked it? You didn't buy it because you were thinking about autocrossing it. You just had it because you liked it.
Well, I'd never had a car nice. Well, it's not nice, but I've never had like a enthusiast
performance car?
Fun
Yes.
I had like old grandma cars, and before that, I was driving a a 2002 Lincoln Continental with a 4.6 liter V8,
Oh man,
but it's front wheel drive.
that's kind of cool though.
So you want to turn right, you just put your foot down.
Oh yeah,
All the torque steers. And then I got the E30 because I wanted something rear wheel drive. I wanted something with a stick that it could be raced, but I got it for $1,000 because
Oh,
I was a
man.
poor college student, but it didn't really work. So I had to fix it. My car payment was to Rock Auto getting car parts.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
For about 2 years, and then I started racing it more often and got another daily, and then now it's just broken.
but $1,000 for an E30s of almost any condition's not bad because those get
Yeah.
kind of like similar to S chassis like Robbie has. They get some drift tax
little
going,
bit.
Yeah.
and then there's BMW enthusiasts who just
They love E30s.
they're just BMW all the things, and
E30s are definitely cool, and I dailied it.
I don't get them. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't get the E30
But they're
thing.
pain in the ass to daily,
Really?
especially a $1,000 one.
Well, 80s
Well,
cars
sure.
by modern standards are a pain in the ass to daily.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a fact of the life. We're so spoiled with modern day cars that driving an 80s car just feels miserable.
But I dailied it for 2 years and never saw another E30 while driving the E30. And then now I drive a Ford Ranger around, and I see them everywhere around Iowa.
I saw one parked in a field today.
Oh, wow. That's
So
nice.
there you go.
Have you guys ever seen your car while driving your like nice car?
You mean like
Like my race.
Like, have you seen a 240 when you're driving your
Oh,
240?
he sees them all the time,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Okay.
not all the time, but yeah, I see him.
Because
There's one
like,
down the street, actually, I was going to show you.
Yeah, there's that when I showed up to the first Carlson Coffee this year, that guy showed up with a 6-liter swap. It's that part next to me.
you just had a 0.3 up you.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen the Charger, which is the 2-door hatchback version of my car, but I don't think I've ever seen an Omni on the road.
Oh, I should have sent you the picture. I saw one at Hy-Vee.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think I've seen an Omni.
There was one in the service bay of a mechanic shop downtown one day. It was a GLHT, and his license plate said Scud Missile, and I was like, "That's awesome." But
No,
I don't think I've ever seen one in the wild.
Robbie, do you do like a Honda Wave or something?
240.
you do the
So,
dude.
Oh, nice. That's when I worked at the airport before I worked at the go-kart track. This is what pilots would do before they took off. Like, you'd push them back with the tug, you do your wavy wand thingies, and then they do this, and then you just do it back, and then
Really?
they take off. Yeah, and I was like, why do pilots do that? Isn't
So
that
I
a
guess it's
surfer
not a
thing?
surfer thing; it's a pilot thing.
It's a pilot thing. Then
They
it was
still
a
do.
surfer thing. Then it was a drifter thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. From the water.
What
to
are
the
they- are they
skies
saying
to the
thank you?
pavement.
Hey,
I don't know. They're
So-
like,
Don't do this to other dudes if that's called you. Like, that's not.
I don't
I mean,
know.
or do if that's
What
your
it
thing. I'm just saying, like, let's not get our
Don't
signals
limit
mixed
this.
up. Yeah, you do what you want to do. I'm just saying, use it appropriately.
Huh?
Good advice.
So, is it a thank you thing?
I don't know, and nobody ever told me. And they didn't know either. They just did it back. It was like a
So
thing.
basically, the pilots know what it means, and nobody else knows what it means.
Correct.
So they're probably just fucking with you.
I don't know.
Here, watch this. I bet they do it back.
It's probably
It's like an inside, like all the pilots. You go to Des Moines, you do this. They have a different thing
yeah, when
for
you get-
like each
Listen,
airport.
when you get to DSM, okay, here's what you got to do this move, okay? They'll do it back. Nobody knows what it means.
Just roll with it. No,
Yep.
they think they're surfers or some shit. Land locked.
Don't do it. Don't do it
even know.
anywhere else. Just in Des Moines. Des Moines International. Anyway, you got anything else for us, Thomas?
Well, I had a question for you guys since you
Oh,
do
gosh.
LS things now, and this is the LS podcast almost.
This is the LSX podcast.
I
yeah.
refuse to accept this.
but
we V8 swap it all.
or just buy cars with V8.
Nah, we
Well,
don't-
I-
no,
yeah,
we don't want to do that.
I have one. I have an LS2.
That's true.
I drive a Ford Ranger around, and it's four banger, 5-speed.
Should turbo that.
No, I don't want to
This
live
is not the Turbo 4 podcast.
your oil life.
It's fun. Though. It's a great time.
I
It's a
want to live
great
your
time.
oil life.
No.
Notice it's not here today.
So I was thinking about getting something with an LS already in it, but modest power because I'm surrounded with kind of cool cars at work. So it has to go up to work level, but I don't want it to get broken into because I'm building a garage soon. So it has to sit out my driveway. So I was thinking about getting a GTO.
Yes.
I will never tell anybody not to get a GTO.
Yeah, I'm
Everyone should get a
150% behind
GTO.
the
And you should get
GTOs.
them before the drift tax starts because there was 3 of them at the last drift event. All of a
I
sudden,
blame Luke.
That is entirely Luke's fault.
Okay.
So I would
But
get
yes.
one soon. And if you
Absolutely.
get an LS1, which would be a 2004, it's gonna be a little bit cheap. Well, a lot cheaper actually.
Will it be a lot cheaper? Because
Yeah.
it makes
Yeah.
like 50 less horsepower.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I didn't know that's going to be a big deal.
Everybody
bet-
wants a 6.0.
Everybody
I'll
wants
bet you
that
could
LS2.
buy the LS1 and the parts to make up the horsepower for less than it cost you at the LS2 one.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I would do that. If you're not too hung up on the whole LS1, LS2 thing, I'd get the LS1.
Well, I don't
Yeah,
really
for
care.
sure.
It's just an LS. It's 10 times better than a 6-cylinder from the 80s that makes maybe 100 horsepower.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
And a Ranger that can't move forward very well.
You don't want to just LS swap the E30?
Well, I thought about that, but then I'd have to fix it, or I could just spend more money and get an LS with a GTO attached.
GTOs are sweet though.
It's hard to
are.
argue.
I've
'cause
always
I really
liked them.
like the GTOs.
I want one too.
When they first came out, I thought that was the car for me.
I was working at a dealership when they came out in high school. Loved driving them. They're
yeah.
great.
They're
little
sweet.
cars. They're fun.
Again, they're kind of like the Corvette, so there's too many automatics.
There's a lot of automatics. Yep.
Well, I use the BRZO app for searching the Craigslist, and I
Yeah.
don't have automatic checked for anything. So
Oh,
I
perfect.
never seen an automatic GTO on Craigslist.
Oh.
There you go.
BRZO's where it's at.
Approved.
See, everybody else I talk to who are car people, they're like, "No, don't get a GTO." They're blah blah blah. I'm like, "But I want it."
I don't.
It's-
Well, first of all,
You're
if you
buying it for
want it,
yourself.
who gives a fuck what anybody else thinks? Go buy what you want. That's what really matters. Because if you buy something else that somebody else wanted, you're always going to wish you would have bought the car you did want. That's rule number one. And what do they have? Do they have a logical argument against the car? Or do they just have this predisposition in their head that you don't want that?
Predisposition that they don't want that.
No.
It's a good chassis too.
Is
a
it?
In all
decent
honesty,
It
chassis.
just seems heavy.
Oh, it's heavy. Yeah, it's
Why
definitely
is
heavy.
it so heavy?
Because GM made it. I don't know. In
Most
the
GM's cars are kind of pigs.
It was
It's
designed
just
in
way
the
they
early
are.
2000s, and GM was just lining everything with lead back then.
Australia, they build them to last.
Yeah,
They're burnout machines.
Meant to.
Yes, it's more of a drag style car, if anything.
but it's fine.
But
I
it's
have
got
the
a
E30 to
decent
go around
chassis
corners.
in it. I mean,
Yeah, it's got a decent. People have definitely tuned them to
anything,
drift or
really.
to do anything. You could do anything with it.
But the thing I was thinking, LS, power, performance, reliability, reasonably priced parts. But I don't know anything else about the rest of the.
I think
Thing.
it's. Don't quote me on this. I think it's like a semi, rear trailing arm.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Like
just
in an
like
RX-7?
my E30.
Oh,
Yeah.
your E30's that way. I
Yep.
think that's how it is.
But that's fine. I don't.
It's fine. It's not like the S chassis where you can swap anything you want.
Yeah.
Swap any parts and make them adjustable. But it's still a good. It's
you're
still
not
a good
going to
chassis.
out-corner Miatas, but you'll make it up between the corners.
sweet because the E30 is just the slow Miata, so I get the Miata feels with
with a back seat and
yes,
a roof.
And a whole bunch of extra weight.
yeah, but it looks cool.
I'm not sure I agree with that.
I don't think it looks bad. I don't mind the look of the E30. I think it looks good. I like that box, like the 5 Series, and that's, I don't know what chassis, maybe that's an E39.
I think that
E39 is
gen.
the like early 2000s, like 90s 5 Series.
Well, I really like those, but it'd be the gen before that then.
E34.
Yeah, those two are like my 2 favorite sedan BMWs.
Is it because of the headlights? The headlights is my favorite part.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
My favorite BMW is not a sedan. I love the 8 Series.
Oh, I think that's called the E31.
I have no idea. Like an 850 or whatever they are.
Yeah.
With that V12, I think.
Robbie's looking.
did a video
Robbie looks
about that.
super nervous right now because he's gonna have
God.
to edit pictures of all this shit in.
Nope.
He's like,
No,
10-10's
I'm not. I'm gonna.
logo.
I'm gonna put one picture of his E30, and that's
and you're
it.
just gonna drag
I
it
don't.
over.
I don't care about your.
I looked over and I
I'm
see
not gonna
Robbie,
look up all the
I see
either.
Robbie's face just like.
But the
"You guys, I
850
swear to
has a
God."
V12, which is like 2 of BMW's inline 6s mated together in the perfect way
I think it's a
possible.
terrible motor, but I really want it.
Right.
It's one of those deals.
Robbie
Put
has.
it out.
I-
I'm not
literally
surprised that you
no
want that.
opinion.
I'm sure you could put an LS in it, Robbie.
You should
Yeah,
get
that's
the
what you should
V8.
do.
You should get the V8 automatic and LS swap it with the T56.
Yes.
Boom. There's a swap that I haven't seen before. I'm sure somebody's done it. I just haven't
Yeah, I'm
seen
sure.
it. That's all I'm saying. It'd be a great swap. Reliability. It'd be faster than the V12, so you could outrun Adam's V12.
Well, yeah, because my V12 is stuck in my garage.
Wait, what?
Because
If you had it, it'd be broken down.
If I had
Oh.
it, it wouldn't run anyway.
I thought you had a V12 in your
No,
garage.
gosh, no.
I got excited.
Yeah, project update.
Putting a V12 in the Omni.
I'd support that.
Instead of an LS. You'd be all right with
yeah,
that?
I'd be all right with that.
I still think we need to get an LS4 and put it in the Omni. We'll just take the whole front
If I'm
K
gonna do
member out.
that-
Whole front K member. We'll just put the.
How hard could it
Impala-
be?
It can't be that hard.
It can't be.
If I'm going to do that, I got to get some sort of Chevy because then I can race it in street mod and it would be hilarious.
I don't really want to help with the wrenching, but I'll be there for you guys
Moral
with the
support.
camera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
And moral support if I want. Yeah.
Build channels are where it's at.
We should get a Chevette and we should put an LS4 in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
And then
about.
he has to drive it.
I know where there's a I know where there's a Chevette that's actually in pretty good shape. We could totally do this. I'm all about it.
What about the Pantera?
What about it?
Why don't we just go one of those instead?
Because that's in the back.
Very many expensives.
Well,
So
I know where
many
there's one
monies.
of those too.
They you used to be able to buy a Pantera for like 30 grand all day, like a decent one. Yeah,
we're
right.
building a YouTube channel now that we'll get ad revenue.
Oh,
So
that's
much
a good. I,
monies.
I forgot we were going to be YouTube famous, and so we'll have like
Well, you
millions
haven't
of
talked
dollars
in last
coming.
podcast about being famous and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
is
no,
fame,
for
bro.
sure.
Have you been publicly recognized yet?
Yeah, actually, when I went and got my car tuned, they're like, "Oh, it's the guy with the podcast." I couldn't tell if he was making fun of me or not.
He might have been making fun.
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
He's just jealous because we have
Oh,
more
you
views
think
than
you're
he
so
does.
cool because you have a podcast,
He yelled it more than once. Put that on your podcast.
Mr. iTunes. Think you're all fancy with your T-shirts.
Oh man,
No, they're cool though. I mean, do we actually want to talk about like?
we probably should.
Are we done talking about you?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
I don't wanna be rude,
Yeah,
but-
yeah, with you,
Thomas.
great.
Yeah.
Moving on.
I don't want to jump in and steal
I'm
your
fine
thunder.
with talking cars. I don't need to talk about myself.
Well, project update on mine. I got the 240 tuned, and I won because
He did win the horsepower
I
bet.
predicted the horsepower.
He did.
Not only
what,
did-
what was it? You were the closest without going over. Price is Right
I know I
was-
was the closest just in general.
So you said, I think you said 326 was your,
Yep.
because that was one more than what
It was
it made
one more
before.
horsepower than the SR20 had. So I have my numbers are 336 horsepower and 325 foot-pounds of torque to the wheels.
Sweet.
but from like 0 RPM.
Oh yeah, that graph is dramatically different than the
Yeah,
SR20.
the power under the curve. Do you have the old graph?
Yeah, I'll probably put side by sides on the YouTube channel.
How many torques are you making?
325.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
At the wheels.
At,
yeah.
yes, at the wheels.
What is that engine supposed to make from the factory at the flywheel when the car came out?
305.
It's probably, yeah.
They
2002?
they claim 325 when you look up like. Well, actually, we learned.
It's probably about makes
My-
what at the wheels what it was supposed to make at the crank.
Nice.
Yeah. So it came out of a 2002 Camaro. The heads are off in 98. So I don't know. There's clearly a bunch of history happening on that car that obviously I was not there for. So my heads are off in 98, which are not the free-flowing LS6 type. So I'm limited there. So I mean, having 336 horsepower and 325 foot-pounds of torque, I'd say that's pretty good. I'm
It's
happy
a good
with
place
the
to
numbers.
learn.
I think it's a great place for what I'm using it for, like autocross and stuff. I mean, if I jumped up to like 426 or whatever, that'd be a dramatic change. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think
autocross,
it's still
I mean, you
going to
really
be a
need-
handful for autocross and drifting as a beginner.
Yeah,
It's still going to be plenty of car.
yeah, I'm happy with it.
What did it make on the first dyno pull? Like before
I
I
was-
started tuning and stuff.
Before I started tuning, it was at 250 because I was running on 7 cylinders. Because I cannot take a car to excessive
Done.
and have it be running correctly. I've never done that.
When we were shooting
That's
and
true.
you went slightly around the speed limit,
I went exactly the speed limit around the corner with that crotch rocket.
12 miles an hour.
Seriously, you
Yes.
need one. We need one shot every time we do one of those videos of the speedometer at exactly the speed limit.
60. Just 60.
It's that Top Gear bit when they were in America and they're
Yep.
doing like 120 and then they cut in the speedometer and it says 55.
Yep. But yeah, I was actually running on 7 cylinders.
oh wow, because I got excited. You put your foot down. We're going around this corner, and you're transporting me to the next corner so I could film you.
Yep.
And it started making more V8 noises, and we're going fast. I was like, yeah, but wait, shouldn't we be going faster than this? Like, shouldn't I be in my seat more? And then
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna buy a GTO with an LS1. This is the same engine. Are GTOs slow?
No.
So you're making
I'm making 100
less.
horsepower more than when you rode in it.
And
Nice.
100 pound-feet of torque.
okay.
Yes.
I'm ready to purchase a GTO. If you have a GTO, email me at Thomas at TRmedium.com. If you want to sell it, I will buy.
Yeah. But it ran smooth. Like for running on 7 cylinders, it was
It
actually
did run very,
Yeah, that was
surprisingly
what I
smooth.
thought, too. I was like, really? Because I heard it run at Carl's and it sounded fine.
Yeah, the only
Sounds
thing-
fine in the video. I mean,
The only thing you could hear is the power steering
I
pump.
was going to say, it was probably
mean
covered
the
up by your power
supercharger?
steering pump.
What's that?
supercharger wine.
It's not a supercharger. It's
Supercharger wine,
it's a power steering pump that's not happy about being in the car.
They don't need to know.
It's fine.
Could be supercharger.
Yeah. So
Is that-
we fixed that and they got it all tuned and now I have a
You're ready.
smooth running vehicle.
You're ready.
Now I just need to find drift spares, which I think I'll get this weekend.
And a non-rainy weekend that we could actually go and race in.
Yes,
That is
it would be-
miserable.
It would be wonderful if I could drive that car and not have it rain because I think I've done that twice since I've had it. Done.
I get it. June 18th, I think,
Okay.
is the date.
Okay.
I think.
Wait, what's happening then?
There's a drift.
Oh,
there's
Drift
a drift
Collective.
event.
Oh, drift.
It's the weekend after Grid Life.
Ooh,
It's the 17th to 18th.
double feature. I'll
Yes.
be there.
Triple feature. Because
Gotta-
we got
you
meet
gotta
and
get my
greet the week
spares.
before, Grid Life, and then Drift Collective.
I don't know if I can handle this.
It's too much. It really truly
Schedule
is.
sucks.
That's a lot.
You don't even know.
That's really all I got for updates.
Oh, okay.
I fixed the gasket that was leaking oil.
I don't really have anything.
No.
You
Got
don't want
an
to talk
alignment.
about freezing your balls off?
You did autocross.
Yeah, I did an autocross, but no.
It's the autocross. I refused to race that because it was cold.
Yeah,
I don't
well,
know,
it wasn't-
42 degrees and raining.
It
is-
wasn't
is my
supposed to
limit.
be exactly the same as it was at Adventureland 2 months ago.
Yeah, 2 months ago.
That was March, and this
Yeah.
is May, almost June, and it was fucking raining, and it was 40 degrees again. I was like, I already did this, and I said I wasn't going to do it again, and I'm here. But I only spent a half day there, so
I stayed
was
home
good.
again because no.
No, I'm a fair weather racer. I admit that. I'm not racing in the rain or this 40-degree weather.
I understand that.
Yeah.
It wasn't supposed to rain. I could have dealt with the cold, and it didn't rain that long, but it was still enough to be like, really? Seriously? Does it have to rain right now? This is annoying.
I guess I don't feel
Wasn't
bad for
supposed to
having a broken race car.
Nah.
Not missing out on anything.
Now you gotta get.
Hey, I
fixed.
missed out on an entire season last year with a broken
What's
race
that like?
car, so Robbie did
But
too.
you did get a race a little bit.
I
other
made
people's
2
cars.
events last year.
I got to drive a couple other people's cars to finish last year's season out. So
I did 25 events the year prior.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was quite a swing. So what happens when you have a kid and a podcast and a broken race car?
I don't want to have a kid.
I wouldn't recommend it. I'm going to be honest. Love my kid to death. Wouldn't trade him for the world. Don't recommend it. Unless you're 100% ready for it, don't do it.
Copy that.
That's my PSA for everybody.
He's taking that home. He's taking that
PSA
home.
right there.
I think we can move on. couldn't
Yeah.
we? Let's move on to the news.
Let's do the news. So Ford had ousted the CEO that brought us the new Raptor and the GT350 and replaced him with a glorified furniture salesman. Because that's what you wrote, and I don't know what else.
You read it. Yes. You actually read it.
Oh, I was going to put.
I would like to start this off by saying that every single automotive journalist so far, except for like 2 of them, have been wrong. He was not fired.
He was not fired.
He was not fired.
No, he was not.
So Jalopnik, whose title read, Ford fires CEO.
What happened to him then?
He had a discussion with one of the board members and resigned.
Boom.
At least he didn't
So they
punch anybody on the way out.
No, so he just
Should have, though.
he said that he was ready to retire, and they're like, okay, well, perfect timing because we want to bring in this guy that is all about the future.
Basically, what happened is they had a meeting, and they said, you can leave or we can make you leave. You decide.
Yeah, I'm
and
sure
he
that's
said,
how it-
I'm going to leave. And they said, okay, good decision.
Yeah,
Why did they-
here's your severance package.
Why did they feel? I feel like Ford's been doing well. So what was?
Are you ready for this shit?
I'm
Because
s-
here it comes. This is why I want to talk about
Did
this.
the millennials fuck this
It's
up?
the
too?
millennials, and it's the,
Flat
it's
Earth.
the Uber shit, and it's the whole like we need to be a technology company, and
Yep.
we need to have applications and ride sharing and autonomous cars and all that bullshit. He said that. Mark Field said that back in 2014, I think it was, when he took his position, that he was going to make Ford a more connected company, meaning more technology, more focus on autonomy, all that other bullshit. What does he do instead? He gives us a Raptor with 500 foot-pounds of torque.
Woot.
And he was the one that pushed the Ford GT development.
Sweet.
So we have a Ford GT because of him. And so he said one thing, and then he did another thing, which we are very happy about.
I was going to say,
I'm not mad
so
about
far
that at
I've
all.
not been mad about any of this.
But you wait 2-3 years from now, all that shit's going to go away.
Oh yeah,
When that stuff comes out of its life cycle, it's done. That's it.
yeah. The Ford.
Oh, the cool cars.
Yeah, the Raptor, the ST. He was the one that pushed the whole ST program and the RS program. That shit's going to go away. Executives don't want that shit. They don't want it.
Is that different than the global thing? So did he do the global thing? So we got the ST and the RS?
Oh yeah, I'm sure he pushed that, as well. But
I've heard that the ST line has done very, very well for Ford globally.
it's not the future, bro.
But you
It's
get
not
a
what
race.
millennials-
it's a combination of they want someone that's completely buying into the future, which the board of directors believes that what the media is saying is autonomous vehicles, and that's what
Jim Hackett.
That's what he thinks. And then
Who's Jim Hackett?
He's the furniture salesman.
Oh, okay.
He
He's
used
the
to be
guy they hired.
he used to be the CEO of Steelcase, and they make office furniture.
but he predicted
Cool
that
story,
they would
bro.
he predicted that they would go away from cubicles and more open
Wait,
offices.
I have a problem with this
Go
also.
on.
This pisses me off. So this is a guy that runs a furniture company, and he predicted, in air quotes,
quotes.
that people were going to sell all of their office furniture and buy new office furniture to go to this open office concept. So he pushed this open office bullshit, which meant everybody had to buy new furniture. That seems awfully convenient.
I hate this open office concept.
It's
thing,
so
too.
stupid.
It's so
I
dumb.
kind of miss having a cubicle. I don't.
You don't
like,
have a cubicle anymore?
no, ours is
I
open
think
office.
it looks
What?
wildly inefficient.
You guys don't have any cubicle walls? You guys have cubicles, don't you?
Well, what's an open office space?
It's
Because we have
there's no walls, so
There's
everyone's
just desks.
desks are just in the
We
middle of
have
the office.
The
little
idea is
desks
that-
and then a small glass divider that's like a foot and a half tall. So
No,
we
you're
can
just like
see
me then.
shoulders up.
But there's
you're
like
fine.
2 of you, isn't there?
What? So there's 4 media department people.
Yeah.
That's a little different.
Robbie's got 60, you know?
No,
I don't know what
it's
the number is.
It's like
but
12.
I
my
think
office.
it's such bullshit.
We have 13.
There's a
I
company
prefer-
that I have done work with. I'm under NDA. I can't say names, but they're very open office, and like a bunch of them don't even have chairs. They stand.
no.
Oh. I
Yeah,
thought you
we
could
have
say
the
beanie
ergo
bags.
thing where the whole desk raises.
I don't mind
Yeah.
if you have the option. You
And
can sit or
they're-
you can stand.
And they're they have like an arcade in there, and they have 2 different cafes, and there's a game room and a puppy dog room. You can bring your dog to work, and you can take your laptop down there. You can hang out with your dog, and you can do your job.
Do they have like
Air
an open,
quote, do your
open
job.
keg too? Cause
No, I
It's
don't
not
think so.
far off from it, but it just looks wildly inefficient to me.
So I'll be that guy. I have an office with a door and walls made out of drywall and
Wow.
studs.
so traditional.
American.
I know, and it's like God damn it, Windows 10. I swear to God, if you update during this podcast, that's what
weeks
last
in a
time.
row.
So anyway, yeah, it's so much better because guess what? When I don't want anybody to come in my office because I'm making a phone call or I'm doing something like that, I can close my door and it tells everybody to go away.
And I'd have a hard time focusing on my job if I really need to hunker down and do my job at my desk, I don't need everybody else hovering.
Headphones.
My old job, it was an open office, it was cubicles, but there was a bunch of us in there, and it was my job was being on conference calls. That was basically my job. So I would just, hours a day, I was on conference calls arguing with people about contracts and stuff. So that was what I did. Not everybody needs to know that, needs to listen to that conversation. And not only that, but other shit's going on, and I'm on the phone, and it's like, you guys need to shut up because I'm on the phone.
There's a low roar behind you all
so
the time.
It's just like, it's so dumb. I just hate, I don't like cubicles. I don't like the open office thing. I think is such bullshit because it just means that they don't have to build walls anymore. So it's cheaper. And Jim Hackett will sell you some furniture.
Well, now he's going to sell us Fords.
I can get you worse than that. Ours, we have enough people to have double the office that we have, but we didn't build the office that big. So we have the engineers and like management in the office in an open office setting, and then all like the planners and the customer service reps and all them on the fucking shop floor next to all the test stands and all the loud equipment.
So
they're talking to customers and shit
with stuff
happening in the background, like your air hoses and stuff.
Oh, it drives me nuts.
Jeez.
It drives me insane.
Yep.
Our important people at the office are in enclosed offices.
Oh, yeah.
But the walls are made out of glass and there's no roof. So they close the door, have an important meeting. We can hear everything.
See, I just don't think that's a good look, man.
No,
I don't think that's
like
good.
it.
Isn't that kind of like the whole, like, I've made it, I have my own office, too? Isn't that?
That's part of it.
Yeah.
Your name's on the door.
Yeah, so it was really weird when I was in college. I had a job where there was just enough space where I could have an office, and I had my own office, and then I had to give that up. It was the worst feeling in the entire world. Going from having an office to having a cubicle sucked.
Yeah.
I believe that.
So when they're like, "Hey, you can have this office," I was like, "Fuck yes, thank you."
You want the office with the windows or the corner
Yep.
and more square footage than the next guy.
Feature wall. Yep.
Well, we'll get back to Ford here, but this is what confuses me about the whole thing. I understand that like the board of directors thinks that autonomous vehicles and shit is the future. So they go, okay, well, we're going to fire the guy that believes in traditional cars, and we'll hire the guy that's all about autonomy and that electric cars and whatnot.
Yep.
But what I don't understand is they kept saying that Ford's doing terrible and their stocks are half what they were 2 years ago, and that doesn't make sense to me when the company itself had a record pre-tax profit of $10.8 billion in 2015.
I'll tell you what the problem is.
You Mr. Stock Guy needs to
Tell
explain
you
to me.
exactly what the problem is. It's all this buying into the Tesla bullshit.
Yeah, the fact that, again, it's Tesla being worth what Ford is worth is insane.
Right.
It's a $152 billion a year company.
But the problem is that stock price is all it is. It's just like anything else that you buy. I mean, if you buy something off Craigslist or whatever, it's all about what people are willing to pay for it.
Perceived value.
Perceived value. That's all it is. So people perceive the value of Tesla to be that stock to be more valuable than Ford, whether they'll like outright admit that it is. It's the dollar is the vote, basically. Right. So if you're voting with your dollar. So if you're buying Tesla stock instead of Ford stock, you're saying that Tesla has higher earnings potential in the future, blah, 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 whatever else you want to factor into that, stock price, basically. So that's the problem, is that everybody gets hung up on your choices are Ford for car companies. It's Ford, GM, whatever, or Tesla. And people go, well, yeah, but Tesla has a brighter future, so I'm going to buy their stock instead of buying Ford stock.
Yeah, perception is reality. That's what they teach you in marketing school.
Yeah. So, and even Jim Hackett said it when he took office that, there's no reason that they couldn't be better than Tesla. And I'm like, you're Ford.
You are better than Tesla.
You're Ford. You could do whatever you want.
You've been better than Tesla for 114 years.
Tesla hasn't made a dime. A dime of money. You guys made billions of dollars just last year.
Yeah.
It's this weird perception, and everybody loves Tesla. It's so great.
It doesn't make sense to me, and it never will.
Right.
But yeah, Ford is clearly showing their hand when they're saying, okay, this is exactly the direction our company is going. So say goodbye to all the fun cars. Say goodbye to the V8s. Say goodbye to the Raptors. Everything that I like about Ford will be dead in 2 years.
Right. The reason why we talked about them being the performance manufacturer of the moment is because they make cool shit, and
it's all
They
gone.
make cool shit for every market.
They do.
They make Raptors. They make STs. They make RSs. They make Ford GTs. They make Mustangs in 3 different trims. I mean, they covered the whole gambit.
I mean, it's not like the stuff's just going to disappear, but they're not going to, there's
Well,
not
they've
going
already
to
said,
be a
like-
Fiesta RS. Let's put it that
They've
way.
already been talking about how the next gen of Mustang will probably be a hybrid. Can you imagine buying a plug-in Mustang?
Yeah.
Do you want a plug-in Mustang?
No, I don't want a Mustang.
Oh,
But if you did, so let's pretend that they still made the GTO. Would you buy a plug-in GTO?
If it made more horsepower, yeah.
See, I'm not that way about it. I don't care
So you
about
could
what
turn
numbers
on
it
eco
makes.
mode
That-
and not annoy your neighbors. And
No, I don't give a fuck
Oh.
about my neighbors.
If I have a Ford GT, fuck my
Wait,
neighbors.
a GT, not a Mustang GT.
Yeah.
Oh,
see, that doesn't bother me.
Well, just any car. Any car you want. Would you buy it if you have a V8 option and a plug-in hybrid option? Which one are you going to buy? Let's pretend that they both make the same amount of power.
I don't know. The tech stuff's kind of cool, but am I racing it?
Yeah, so if it's performance based, like the McLaren P1, then yeah, I'm on board because it's not an eco thing. It's
But I
because I
don't
want
wanna-
torque down low.
I don't want to fix that.
No.
yeah, exactly.
I want engine noise and character, and
Yeah.
I don't really care about how fast it is
I got
necessarily.
some, yeah.
That is not my concern. My concern is that they're just going to take all that control away from you,
The autonomy.
and they're going to sell you an autonomous car.
yeah.
They're going to go the route that Apple and Google want to go, which is like, we only make an autonomous car. Here's the only option. You can have it in different sizes, different shapes, but it drives itself. Here you go.
Well, I don't see why we can't have both. We have the hybrids or fully
we can't have
electrics,
both.
and then we just go
Well,
to a
hybrids
tuner
and
shop.
fully electrics, yes. But at some point in the very near future, frankly, we as a society are going to have to decide fully autonomous cars or not autonomous cars at all. And I can tell you which one is going to win. But we really cannot live in a world where you can have both.
Maybe that would make racing bigger because you can't drive fast
That is
by yourself. You have to
Yeah,
go
I
to
think
track.
so. I think you're right.
that is the hope. But I don't know, because the horse industry, because I look at our performance cars in 50 years just like horses are now. They're not bigger than they used to be. Even sporting, using horses as sporting is not bigger than it was when horses were normal modes of transportation.
So we can go to Prairie Meadows and start betting on the GTO versus the Camaro.
You can bet on the Indy 500 if you want.
Cool.
Apparently, there's some pretty good money in it because they don't spend a whole lot of time making odds. So,
But I'm with you, Thomas. I think we'll see. I think there's enough people that are interested in it that it's not like it's going to die.
I don't think it's
By
going
any
to
means.
die, but I don't know that it's going to grow significantly either.
It'll change. It's not like all of a sudden autonomy is going to come around and then all of a sudden there's not going to be any track days. Because
No,
all the
I
new
don't
cars
think
are
that at all.
autonomous. So
I don't think that at all.
Autonomy totally kills my job. Like totally dead.
right. Yeah, exactly.
Buy these wheels for your autonomous car.
No, probably not.
No.
It's not going to happen. But, again, we beat this horse to death enough that nobody's looking at the big picture of autonomy and the effect it will have on industry. I mean, we talk about drivers for the most part, but yeah, think about everybody that's involved in SEMA. I mean, you can argue whatever you want. It's not going to be a one-to-one when people go from using performance parts on the road to using them exclusively on a track. It's not going to be one-to-one.
Well, personalization of your car will still exist.
Even if they're autonomous, you think?
I think people still want to put wheels on them and maybe lower them and, put wraps on them and stuff like that. Performance modifications, probably not so much.
Right, 'cause
That
it's not gonna be
industry
able to
would
speed.
probably drop
I almost
a
want
little bit.
I mean, we're getting into the weeds, obviously, but I wonder if you get an autonomous vehicle, you throw rims that are 2 inches bigger, it throws off your speedometer, it throws off everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
those things would have to.
you'd either have to calibrate for it, or they're going
They
to
may
say,
tell you no.
Yeah, if you put a 20-inch rim on this 17-inch setup, it's not going to operate.
Yeah, you'd have to make sure you mate those things. You
And
can't
then it goes back to are you allowed to modify that software?
Right. They may tell you that you're not allowed. When they make an fully autonomous car that's programmed and all of the pieces need to work together properly,
You can't
they may
mess with
say
that.
that you cannot modify your car.
well,
Like, you can tune a car now because that's not going to mean shit. But like, if you tune something that's that automated, I bet they're gonna put laws on that or some sort of restriction that won't
They're
allow
going to say
it.
it's a safety thing and you can't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, they do it. They do it other places in the world. We've talked about that a lot. I mean, where they say you can't do this, you can do that, you can't, so on and so forth. But they may just say no on this. You can't do anything.
Wouldn't be surprised.
What's next?
The movement to certify track day instructors has started, and I'm on board.
I am shocked it took this long, frankly,
Yes.
because there's no level of standardization, and I don't know the level of quality I'm getting from a track day I'm purchasing if I'm just coming into it.
Yep.
Well, I think the important part of this, too, is that it creates the track day instructor as more of a profession. Because as this goes through and talks about this Motorsport Safety Foundation, they're introducing a program to certify instructors, and there's different tiers, different levels. And so now you kind of got, if you want to be a professional, or if you don't, if you just want to do it on the weekends or whatever, but if you do want to pursue being a professional track day instructor, there's kind of a roadmap now that you can follow to, get to a level where even they certify you to do remote telemetry-based instruction.
Yeah, so it's like level 1 to level 6. Level 1 you get by taking an online class.
Yep.
And you get certified that way. And then you could probably just do like your typical weekend track day or an HPDE or something, nothing too intense.
Yep.
Then you go, if you want to go further from that, it's level 2 is like classroom based. It's like almost like a driving school, I would imagine. And then up to level 6, which is telemetry based, where you could remotely coach somebody.
Right. Yep, exactly. So
I can't believe that this isn't a thing already.
Yeah, I'm very much on board with having instructors and a like they compare it to the FAA. So the MSF would be like the FAA to just kind of govern the way people are taught and how they teach other people how to drive. Because you don't know. You go to a track day like, oh, he clearly knows what he's doing, and then you're like, turns out, oh, I have more experience than him, but he's just here because he knows somebody.
The other thing I think would be good is that I think that this will probably help increase safety at track days.
Yeah.
Which will hopefully mean that the insurance costs for the people putting those on will come down. Which would make them more feasible, which would be good.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's going to be like saying, like if you go to a mechanic, well, we have ASE certified mechanics. All this track day has MSF certified instructors.
Yep.
Of course you want to go that one.
Yeah.
And it may be a situation where insurance then requires that. So it'd be interesting to see how that could be the only downside you could possibly
If I was an
claim.
insurance company, I heard about this, I would immediately be latching onto it.
Right.
I would be contacting them asking what I can do to help make sure this happens.
And then, of course, our friend Ross Bentley is kind of helping head this up and bring attention to everybody.
No surprise to anybody, I don't think.
No,
But
a wonderful driving instructor. He's been pushing for this type of stuff, and it's nice to see this come to fruition. I hope it snowballs into something good.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense that if you're telling people how to drive faster and how to drive safely, that you
know what the heck you're talking about.
Right, exactly.
being in the right seat can be quite dangerous, too. People have died not that long ago. There's been fatalities for driving instructors. And I've heard on a couple different podcasts I listen to, I've heard, professional drivers that'll talk about, oh, I was doing track day instruction, and other ones be like, don't do that. That's dumb.
You're gonna end up dead because of somebody else's mistake.
Yeah. So hopefully this just makes everything better.
Agreed.
Speaking of driving schools,
Yes.
the Skip Barber Racing School declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which is really disappointing because that's kind of one of the ones I narrowed it down to.
I was going to say, weren't you talking
the one
specifically about going
That's
there?
specifically one that I wanted to go to.
Isn't this the one that James did, I think?
Oh, I don't. Maybe. Yeah. Could be.
I honestly can't remember which one
Yeah,
James did.
not sure, but
It was probably one of the more affordable options, wasn't it? When you looked at that.
Yeah, and it has it's always kind of had a good reputation when it comes to their drivers and
Sure.
what people have done with it. So to me, I read his book. I was like, yeah, Skip Barber knows what they're doing. That school seems to be pretty professional. The prices are relatively reasonable. They're middle of the ground. Like it's not the cheapest, but it's not the most expensive.
Forever.
Yeah, I mean, he Skip Barber himself. I think he started at 1970.
It's pretty.
1975, after he retired from racing, and then he sold the rights to the school itself in '99. So he actually has been separated from it, but it's in his name still. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's I don't know. I always thought that was going to be one of the schools I would go to, and just
That one and Bondurant are the two.
Yeah.
Bondurant's
Bondurant's
twice
one
the
I
price.
Is it really?
Oh yeah,
I always knew that one was more.
It's quite expensive.
But maybe that's what you need to charge to stay solvent.
Probably. Yeah.
So-
I know of Bondurant, and they're on the internets, and I've seen them on YouTube. Maybe they just need to hire some millennial to start talking in front of a camera. I'm not saying me, but, just...
But if you need somebody, you can email Thomas at Thomas.
TRmedium.
Wait, we should say that's Thomas, Tomas.
Yes.
No
Yes.
H
That's
in
a
there.
good point.
Yep.
Thanks for that.
Yep. TRmedium.com.
TRmedium. But the Skip Barber School apparently owes somewhere between $10 and $50 million to track
damn.
Racetracks, yeah.
I guess they just call it outstanding liabilities. So,
But they had a whole list of tracks that they owed money to, including
this-
Lime Rock.
which is Skip Barber's actual track.
Yeah, so they owe Skip Barber. Skip Barber owes Skip Barber,
1.225 million,
which
for
is
that.
probably how they got away with not paying that. Is that he was floating them?
Yeah, they owe money to Road Atlanta, Monterey, Mid Ohio, Palm Beach, Virginia International,
Laguna Seca,
Willow Springs. I mean, they owe money to basically everywhere that they race.
and a lot of those were multiple $100,000 too. So it's not like, some of them was $20,000, some of it was $200,000,
Yep.
depending on the track. But yeah, it's interesting deal.
I'm surprised that you could rack up that type of that's terrible management. I mean, is
for
it
sure.
not?
Yeah,
I mean, how do you not at least break even somewhere along the way? Like, oh, we're going to go this track and we need to be able to make it costs $100,000 to go there. So we need to have at least $100,000 worth of people and stuff going.
right.
But
How do you continue to do that
Right.
year after
What
year
I
after
can't
year?
believe is that tracks let them
Keep
keep
coming back.
coming.
Yeah, I would have said no. You guys can't be
you
here.
still owe me $100,000.
You cannot be here.
Well, you think they'd get a reputation, and then somebody would say, "No, don't bother."
But-
I heard that you owe Road Atlanta, so why don't you just not come?
Yeah, just pay your bills
You
and we'll
just
talk
stay
later.
home. We don't need you.
Maybe this has just been something that they've all known, just not made public.
Right. And you were telling me, like, for the people that don't know, Chapter 11, you can keep working.
You can restructure. Yeah, it's not like Chapter 7. Chapter 7's like you're done. You pack it up, sell the shit. They send it to auction typically, whatever asset. Because they do have some assets. They had a couple $1 million in cars and parts and some other stuff. And the brand is worth,
$2 million.
brand's worth $2
The
million.
brand is worth $2 million. They have $5.3 million in assets and then $1.5 million worth of cars.
So what they would do is they could split that up or they could sell it as a package or whatever, and then they would just write off whatever profit they made. They would write off the creditors or the liabilities that had the highest priority, and then the rest of that they'd tell them to get stuffed and go away. And then they would just, Skip Barber would start over under new management, or they could change the name, or they could do whatever they wanted to because somebody else owned it. Chapter 11 means that they can continue to do business, and then whatever comes of the proceedings of the bankruptcy and whatever they're told to do by a judge, they have to do that to continue in business. But yeah, they'll just write off the liabilities and move on with life.
But I have a hard time thinking, again, with why would any track bring them over? Like,
After
you just filed for bankruptcy.
Right,
You owe a shit ton of money. No, you can't come to my track.
Well, it depends. That some rich guy comes in and buys them, thinks he's going to turn this around. They get this big cash investment from this new owner.
Yeah.
Okay,
Again, it changes things.
but I want at least 50% up front for sure.
I just pay in advance.
Yeah, you pay in advance
You pay
for
in
sure.
advance if you want to use my track.
Well, maybe that's what they'll have to do for a few years is if they come in and so they bring on a new investor and he gives them whatever $5 million or whatever for his portion of ownership, and then they just use that money to pay. They're going to pay Lime Rock $200,000. They get to use a track for a month or whatever.
Based on their social media posts, they seem to be quite optimistic that they're going to get someone who's going to come in and buy it and invest in it.
What are you going to say? Yeah, we're fucked. Sorry, like you can't.
That post doesn't get very many likes.
Right.
Well, I guess if I wasn't certain, I wouldn't say anything.
Well, filing for Chapter 11 assumes that you're going to continue in business anyway. So
Yeah,
You're
but if I
already
didn't,
making that
if I
leap.
didn't have a pretty good feeling about it, I'd just keep my mouth shut. Is what I'm saying. Like I don't think they would have made that post if they didn't have something cooking already.
Thomas, you're a media manager. How would you handle this situation?
I would just keep posting because I didn't know about this, but maybe most people don't. So they just see, oh, this is the car school I want to go to. I want to learn how to drive. They're still operating. Look, they still look good. I want to go there, and they still get the business.
But they posted about the bankruptcy specifically, stating that they will have a investor in 60 to 90 days.
Oh, maybe they're just super stoked. I feel it's kind of weird to announce that.
Was it saline, the stuff you put in your eyes, the Mustangs, that
Yeah,
company.
Yeah, what about him?
Didn't they declare bankruptcy like twice?
Yeah.
But they're like, we're still in business, but it's like you guys have no assets and you owe $50 million. But they did
Yeah,
that
Celine
same
was
shit.
that way.
You have like
They-
$5,000 in the bank.
There's
They
a
did that
lot of
for-
companies that have done that. Like they kind of built an empire by acquiring a bunch of debt, filing bankruptcy, continuing to operate, and then
doing it again.
doing it again and again and again.
Yeah.
Whereas the scummy guy that owns it still he's taking the paycheck and he's fine, but the company
Right. He's still
itself is-
making $800,000 a year. Yeah.
right.
I think, the town I grew up in had, whether it was true or not, it was rumored to have that guy that's filed for bankruptcy 10 times and lives in the biggest house in town, and his kids drive new Hummers to school and
Yep, there was
stuff like
there's
that.
another guy that's just the other direction of the town over from me that the same thing. Like he built his empire by filing bankruptcy every time he acquired a certain amount of debt, and just never had
People
to pay
do
it
it,
off.
yeah.
He built
And then
his,
if you-
built his brand new house,
Right.
filed bankruptcy.
You got to build
built
a
his-
stupidly huge house, and
Yeah.
then you got to buy a stupidly expensive car because
stuck with it for-
personal bankruptcy is different. I don't understand it, but to some extent, you get to keep that shit.
Yeah, I've
debt-free.
never understood that.
So that's what you got to do. You got to build a business based on debt, pay yourself way too much, buy a bunch of shit with it, buy a giant house, and then just declare bankruptcy on all of it, and then start over. But you keep the house.
And
cars.
you,
Seems fair.
you can't have any morals or empathy.
That is
or,
also true because you're
Yeah,
you're just
you're
fucking
just-
people over.
Yep.
I couldn't do it.
nope. I mean, there's been a lot of people that have built empires that way. and-
Building business relationships with people, and then going like, "Yeah, I'm not going to pay you $200,000.
Sorry,
Sorry, bye.
I'm keeping this shit though.
Yeah, I'm keeping all this shit. See you later."
I would think in the connected world we live in, that's got to be getting harder and harder and harder to do.
Yeah, that may be true.
Maybe.
Reputation follows you more
Reputation
than it
is
used
a
to.
lot easier to
Unless you
keep track
legally
of.
change your name as well each time.
Oh, you want
could
to talk
do
about
that.
reputation? I saw the John Hennessy post. Was it maybe it was about the Camaro
The Exorcist.
or something like that? Dude, people were just ragging on him about that. About how he's a
No.
scumbag,
Yeah.
and he's a shyster, and I bet the car only makes 700 horsepower, and blah 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 blah, and it's got stolen parts from other people's cars on it. I was like, damn,
Yeah, that article
damn.
destroyed him.
Yeah, I can't believe
Regardless-
that he can even maybe he's having issues too. Who knows? But how could you continue to stay
They were
in
trying
business?
to liquidate assets.
'Cause they-
at
yeah,
one
they sold
point.
that track.
Yeah, maybe they're not doing well.
Yeah, maybe
but
this-
that is just that's such a and he's done that too though. He's had 3 of those
Hennessy performance type
Hennessy's,
cars.
yeah,
or,
companies. Yeah, man, shady stuff.
Yeah. And then, again, yeah, like his persona and like a lot of these people, their personas on the internet is like they're a big deal.
Yep.
Like, Hennessy, you hear the Hennessy name. Oh, that's a performance shop. It's a big deal. They have the Hennessy Venom GT.
It was on Top Gear.
Yeah, it's a big thing. But, it turns out they're broke.
Sucker
Maybe.
porn every day.
Allegedly,
You just gotta
Don't sue-
find it.
Yeah,
don't
allegedly.
sue us. We don't have any
I
money.
have no idea.
Just saying.
Go to July.
Allegedly, yeah.
Supposedly.
So they're doing the Chapter 11 stuff. What kind of... Are they going to sell any of their assets?
It sounds like they're not.
They don't have to with Chapter 11.
What kind of cars do they race with?
Skip Barber?
Yeah.
They have like little formula cars
Yeah,
and stuff like
it's
that.
like spec racer stuff.
Didn't they have some Corvettes too, or
I think the Bondurant one's sponsored by
Bon-
Dodge.
Bon-
so
oh,
they have
it
the
is,
Vipers.
yeah,
They have the
Bondurant's
Vipers
Dodge
and stuff.
now. They used to have CTSVs and
That's
Corvettes.
What you're thinking of. Skip
And-
Barber's like more of like Brainerd, where it's Formula or like spec racer Fords or Formula
Yep.
cars.
Yeah, they're
stuff like,
like-
that.
They're like race cars for real. That's why I think James went there.
Yep.
I got you.
Because I know Brainerd, you can bring your own car, which has to be like an SCCA certified like logged car,
Yep,
and then you could also pay an extra $1,000 to rent their car for the 3 days.
gotcha.
So it's a spec racer something.
I think they have like Formula Fords or something.
That sounds
like
right,
that. I think
yeah.
they're Formula Fords
Gotcha.
or Formula Vs maybe. Lower end Formula cars.
Something you're probably not going to kill yourself in.
Yeah, fair enough.
Liabilities and all.
Right.
And then we'll wrap this up with Scott Dixon and Dario Franchetti. Fuck, I can't.
I think you were right the first
Dario
time.
Franchetti robbed at the Indianapolis Taco Bell
At gunpoint.
at gunpoint after he makes pole.
Scott Dixon makes pole. My question is here. You're Scott Dixon. You're at the top of the IndyCar game.
Literally.
Pro level. Like the man. And you're eating at a Taco Bell? Come on, bro.
Dude, they were getting food for other drivers.
It was fourth meal.
They were
It was at 10 o'clock at night. It was fourth meal.
This is a Taco Bell commercial, is
Yeah.
what this is.
These guys, best IndyCar drivers in the world
Top
right now.
performing
Yeah.
athletes on the planet.
They were going to get food for the rest of them.
It's not for Taco Bell. It's 10 o'clock at night. Where else are you
Right.
gonna eat?
I don't know.
Jack in
Taco
the Box?
Bell
I
is
don't know.
the choice of Indy 500 champions, apparently.
Did you win pole
Quite-
this weekend?
quite literally.
Come to Taco Bell.
Right. Get robbed.
Well, just
Moral-
leave that part out.
Moral of the story: go through drive-through.
No, I think he was. No, he was in the. Was he in the drive-through? You know where he was, Robbie?
I can't remember.
I
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
But anyway, two men came up to them, gunpoint, took their wallets and ran off. But I think it ended up they were like 14 and 15 or something.
Whoa!
Yeah,
Probably
not
didn't
very
even
old.
know who they were robbing.
No, they didn't have a clue what
Just
was going
random.
on. They were
You
just
just-
robbing some people.
Bad time, bad place type of deal.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I suppose again, it's not IndyCar isn't NASCAR isn't Formula One, so I mean it's not like they're.
Are you saying they're broke, Robbie? Is that
No,
what
I'm
you-
not saying.
okay.
I'm not. Let's not pretend that they don't have money, but I'm sure they don't have a butler that could go and get all their shit for them like Lewis Hamilton would or Fernando
Oh yeah, you're not
Alonso.
going to catch Lewis Hamilton in a Taco Bell
No.
anytime soon.
No, Fernando
That's true.
Alonso's in a completely different area.
Fernando
than the rest of these
Alonso
drivers.
and Lewis Hamilton out at 10 o'clock at night would get recognized, especially in Europe.
Oh, absolutely.
In the U.S.,
Yeah.
maybe not, but in Europe,
Fernando is probably walking around India and nobody has any idea who he is.
right. So if
No,
he's in,
there's not this year. No way. That dude's getting recognized everywhere. He's on
Nah.
every media outlet,
I suppose.
everywhere.
but in Europe, for sure, those guys
They can't go
they
anywhere.
can't walk around outside. There's no way.
No.
But these are you know Scott Dixon for sure. I mean, I don't know where he's
You,
from.
yeah, so we know who he is, but
Right.
you wouldn't hardly recognize
No,
him.
I wouldn't
I
recognize him
couldn't.
if
I
I saw
couldn't
him.
pick him out of a lineup.
I could guess, but
Right. If I was at Taco Bell at 10 o'clock at night, I wouldn't be like, hey, look at Scott Dixon.
That guy in the racing suit. That's probably
Right.
the
I'm,
pro driver.
I'm sure he doesn't wear his,
I'm sure he's in
whole
his
suit.
full Nomex yet.
That's all he wears, like at home too on the weekend.
That's what I pretended
He's
for
doing-
professional level racers.
He's doing
do.
some light gardening with the wife, and he's wearing his race suit.
He's got his cool shirt on.
got his
That would
spade.
actually make sense.
So he wheels around a cooler wherever he goes.
It's
He puts the cooler in the little red wagon thing,
no,
and he
the
wheels
cool
it around
suit's
with him.
plumbed into the garden hose. Just circulates right out onto the flowers.
So nobody got hurt,
No,
which is
luckily.
good. Sounds like they caught the guys that did it.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a weird story. I think that was about it.
I don't have anything else to say about it.
I would think robbing, like individuals for wallets is probably not very lucrative anymore.
In this day and age, you can't get away with it. There's security cameras everywhere.
Well, it's just like if you took my wallet, you'd get my credit cards, or my debit cards, which I could
Could cancel.
immediately shut off, and if you catch me on a good day, you might get $10 cash.
I don't care
You know?
cash.
Who carries
Who
cash?
carries
carry
cash?
I'd
The
be-
only time I carry cash is when I buy things off Craigslist.
Yes. Mm-hmm. For sure.
I'd
and
be
even then-
worried about my wallet. I'm like, man, I really like that.
I like that wallet. That was an expensive wallet.
Do you have an expensive wallet?
Yeah, I got one of those Saddleback handmade leather ones.
Did you really?
It's got a 100-year warranty.
Damn, son.
Maybe I should try that. I just have like one of those cheap. It's leather, but it's got the magnetic clip on it. It's in my front pocket.
Yep.
It's one of those wallets. And this one was cheap. It was like $15, and I've had it forever and ever. And it hasn't died or frayed or fallen apart.
Yeah,
so
so I had like a $18 leather
Whatever wallet, yeah.
And they wear out every 5 years, whatever.
Yep.
And then there's Saddleback, which is handmade leather goods, and they're very expensive, but they have a 100-year warranty, and their logo or their slogan is "Your family will fight over these when you're dead." So this is literally the last wallet I will ever have to buy.
My dad has one made of Tyvek.
That'd work.
It's actually pretty cool.
I don't know what to say to that.
Light.
I really don't know what to say.
It's light. It's thin. It doesn't like say Tyvek in blue letters across it, but it's made out of the same material.
That's what you put on houses, right?
Yeah, what they put underneath siding on houses.
Why?
I don't know. You'd have to meet my dad, and it would make
Yeah, it would.
total
It
sense.
makes sense. It does. It
If
totally
I'm not
makes sense.
mistaken, it was a present from my little sister.
Did she make it?
No,
Oh,
but I
somebody
think
made
it has some level of warranty on it and stuff too.
Are you looking it up, Robbie, or what are you doing over
No,
there?
I'm just looking up my Saddleback leather.
Oh, I
wallet.
thought maybe you were on YouTube clicking the play button.
I kind of realized it's funny that like my brother bought it, like he bought his, and I bought mine. My dad bought one. My mom's got like a leather purse. It's kind of funny that this company
Everybody has one. They're not gonna fight over there to got one.
Yeah, we all got our own. Last
I
forever.
have kids. I mean,
They last forever, and
Okay.
then they also advertise that the ugliest it'll ever look is the first day you get
You
it.
get it.
Because it ages and looks better as
And
it
the
gets
oil
older.
and of your hands and all that fun stuff.
I just recently graduated from one that was made out of like
Duct
cloth.
tape?
Duct tape.
No, like cloth.
Don't
and-
tell me you
and
had a
Velcroed.
fucking... No.
No, he did.
No, he didn't.
We
No,
would go skate.
Dude, how
Like
old are
within
you?
the last year.
How old are you?
I bet when we went to Grid Life last year,
He
I
had
still had
them.
a Velcro wallet.
Fuck.
all the way through college when we would go skating and stuff too. He'd just like, check this out, big baller. People take you really seriously when you pay with a Velcro
When you rip that
wallet.
open?
Yeah.
Yeah. At first, it never bothered me, but over time, it eventually like got weird. And so, like, there'd be times where I'd have my wallet open before I even went, and I was like,
You don't have
okay,
to make that noise.
it's time to give this
Time
up.
to just
Adam.
let it go.
I had a Carhartt branded like cloth Velcro wallet.
That's not. I guess if it's Carhartt branded, not as bad, but
It was free.
that's bad.
They were giving them out like you buy a Carhartt jacket, it comes with a wallet. It's made out of the same material.
But we know you didn't buy a Carhartt jacket because you don't.
I
wear
have
it.
one.
You don't wear
I
jackets.
have two.
Why
I
do you
don't
have
wear.
jackets that
You don't wear
wear?
them.
I wear them at work.
Why'd you buy expensive jackets that you
I
don't wear?
didn't buy the second one.
I do find, yeah, it's hilarious. You will show up here in a sweat. Man, it's cold outside, 0 degrees. You're in a sweatshirt.
I don't really bitch about it being cold.
Yes, you do.
Well, I don't complain about it
no.
being
He's
cold.
he's been trained not to anymore because he used to.
I know better.
And then people are like, you should put a coat on. And he got tired of hearing that, so he doesn't
Yeah,
bitch
I
about it
get it.
anymore.
I don't complain about myself being cold. I just complain about the fact that it's cold in general.
All right, fine. I don't feel bad for you.
I hate driving a car with a Carhartt or a big coat on.
We could take it off when you get in the car.
Yeah,
It's
well,
not
what's
an
the
excuse
point?
to freeze your
It's-
dick off the rest of the time.
15 feet from where I park my car to your front door. Why would I bother putting a coat
No, I'm not talking
on?
about out here.
For
but
the
like,
time you
when-
ran your car out of oil and had to.
yeah, we almost fucking died, and it was literally -8 degrees
It was
outside
fine.
because we made it to a gas station
Yeah, see?
in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
We could have been 10 miles away from that gas
We
station.
were when it started ticking.
I realized that. That's what I'm saying. Is like we could have been super
be dead.
fucked.
We were just like, well, it's
It was
ticking.
literally we're gonna die out here.
It's
or
ticking really bad, but I think there's a gas station down the road a little way, so we're just going to go for it.
it was literally we're gonna die. We're gonna die, or the engine's gonna die. And thankfully, neither one of those things happened. So it was a bad deal.
Yeah.
But look how much fun we had.
We have a
good.
story.
Yep.
I have a,
That was probably the most awkward hour and a half ride I've ever had. Coming back
Sitting-
from the gas station to my house.
3 wide with
Sitting
that.
3 abreast with that weird dude that was the tow truck
I
driver.
can't remember what weird shit he said, but it was weird. He didn't have a naked. Didn't he have a naked woman on the dash of
He's
his
a tow
truck?
truck driver.
Yeah, it was very stereotypical, like naked chick on the dash.
Like the calendar.
The
Yeah,
stick on,
the
the
snap-on
snap-on
calendar.
calendar.
Yep, yep,
Yeah, buddy.
He had one of those.
I remember they gave those out.
Snap-on got classy. What happened there?
Yeah.
For a while, they were like literally in the 80s and 90s. It was all about
Yeah, you
Naked
get the,
women.
you get the mug with the naked girl on it.
Yeah.
There's a guy I used to work with that. He was still drinking out of that in like the late 2000s. And then the
Now they're all
the
like-
titty calendars was always fun.
right, and they had the Snap-on posters with the naked women on them.
Yeah.
Chaz's dad, when he passed away, Chaz got his toolboxes, and there were like vintage Snap-on calenders in there.
Yeah,
I was like,
you can
those are
sell
probably-
those.
Those are probably worth money,
They
Chaz.
are.
And then now all of a sudden they're like very professional.
Yeah.
They've got Deanda doing all their YouTube stuff and Instagram games on point.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Bring back the titties.
Hashtag. I think that's it. We were talking about Taco Bell. I don't know.
Yeah,
how
we can-
got
we can
there,
end
but
on-
We can
on
end
that.
on that. You pumped for Grid Life, Thomas?
I'm super excited.
You
And
don't
it
even
was
know, dude.
Super easy to get it off work because
They were all about
They're
it.
there.
yeah, like oh yeah, we're going too. So just hang out. I'm like sweet, let's go.
Perfect.
You don't even know. It's going to be out of control. I'm super pumped about that weekend.
I bought a brand new lens just in case to get all the snaps.
There you
All
go.
right.
I'm
Shots.
hoping I can kick you out there with the vest then into the track.
I think
Send
you
you
just
past
need
the
to.
barrier.
I think you just need to, apply for media access with FT86.
Yeah, you need to do that too.
Yeah, I'll do that. That's a
But
good
worst
idea.
case scenario, if you go to that meeting, I hope we can make that work for you anyway.
Is it gonna be loud? Do I need earplugs?
No, you're good.
It wasn't bad at all.
No.
All right.
The concert was louder than the track. Honestly,
It's very open there. There's a lot of places for sound to go.
Oh,
Yeah.
like 2 different places or both in the
It's-
same?
it's all in the
spot?
it's all in the
venue.
same area.
Yep.
It'd be-
Gingerman's got a lot of open space, a lot of green space
Do we
around the
need
track.
to buy beer before we get there, or do we get it once we get there?
Yes.
get it.
You'll have to go get it.
But we have a truck and a
Yes and yes.
camper, so we'll be fine.
We went on a beer run at one point, if that helps.
BWRUN.
Beer run. Yes.
What happened?
I,
Don't know what this is.
It's like a comedian. I can't remember the dude's name. He's on Bob and Tom all the time. He has a song called Beer Run. BWRUN. Beer Run.
not a clue.
It's because all the fancy whiskey you drink.
Can I close this? Can I end the
Yeah,
show?
let's
Can I-
just
Bye.